Hi, Scott. I've always wondered who I want to fuck with first.
All right. Like,
baby beard.
I was just seeing who was going to break the silence first. And it's always you. It's always you.
I feel awkward if I don't.
As you should.
Yeah, because if I look around every time, every one of you are looking at me, and I'm like, nah.
I have literally sat on one of these podcasts sleeping in this chair before.
I know.
For the whole show.
Show.
I wasn't here for
I was
that.
passed out.
I had to leave.
Thanks. Though I be the lone survivor.
Fucking children. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Freedom Friends podcast. I'm Mikey. That's John. That's Scott. And today we don't have a jazz, but sans jazz we are, plus Mr. Jason Vest. What's up, dude?
Welcome. Thank you guys for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, dude. Fucking thanks for making the drive down, man. You're about an hour and a half away.
I like San Antonio. I like San Antonio better than Austin.
We all do. Yeah, like we literally like Texas as a whole built a road around Austin. Well, we actually let that road 130 is owned by the Swiss, and we actually let a foreign government come in, build a road that we paid for, and we pay them to use it to avoid Austin.
And not everybody likes San Antonio better. Just the better people like San Antonio.
Oh, I love it here. I fucking love it here. There's black people here.
Yeah,
They got that in Austin. They got that. I call this motherfucker San Antoine.
Yeah,
Man, I fucking love it.
Yeah, bro, we got fucking East Side, homie. Yeah, hell yeah.
Come here for the diversity.
Yeah,
Dude, it's a
San Antonio is definitely a very diverse city.
Your Mexicans are better.
they are.
Dude,
They are.
we have the real deal down here.
We
man.
have great Mexican.
Fucking awesome
The
Mexican down
food,
here.
the Mexican food is better. It's Austin bullshit. It's like, listen, I don't want your fusion fucking Indian brisket taco, motherfucker.
Yeah,
Fuck
dude.
you. All right.
I don't need fucking tuna fish sushi roll with fucking brisket in it, man.
Yeah.
Fuck outta here, you weirdo. Yeah, I agree.
That's a hill I will die on, though.
Guys, it wouldn't be the Freedom Friends if we didn't talk about our number one sponsor, Warfighter Tobacco. Obviously, you guys have seen us all smoke them. We're here to talk about a quality product that everybody can enjoy. The great equalizer, as we've called it, the Warfighter Tobacco Stick. And it's not just cigars. They've got humidors, travel humidors, cutters, lighters, everything you need to get started on that journey. Check out warfightertobacco.com and use that code FTFO. Score yourself that sweet, sweet 15%. If you want to know my personal favorite, I'm a 762 Field guy. I like that Sumatra, real nice and even keeled cigar. Great for us beginner smokers, right? And I'm told that these taste even better when you're listening to the Freedom Friends podcast. Now, back to the show. This episode is brought to you by Grill Your Ass Off. It's no secret. We're all middle-aged dudes who love barbecue. Grill Your Ass Off is our main go-to for our spices. That's what we use, man. Whether you're doing burgers on the grill, steaks, or my personal favorite, a little bit of pork belly burn ends, right? They've got you covered on all of that. They also have salsas. They also have seasonings and spices. They got beer salts. They've got everything, man. Check them out. GrillYourAssOff.com/Freedom Friends Podcast, or use the code Freedom Friends Podcast at checkout.
Cali Mexican food is so much better than
I love it.
Tex-Mex. It's few and far between that I find a Mexican restaurant in Texas, and I'm like, this place is awesome.
Have you?
Like, there's
No shit.
there's very good places.
Have I taken you to Los Velitos? It's Cali Mexican.
Yeah. I've been to good
Fucking
Tex-Mex. Like, okay, this is really good food.
Right.
But like, it's just, I don't know. It's different. That's the easiest way to explain it, is it's different. And I feel like
I get it.
the West Coast Mexican food, just because that side of Mexico also has, in my opinion, way better food. Everything just moved north, right? So like everything on the west side of Mexico moved into like Arizona, California. Everything on the east side moved into like Texas, pretty much Texas. New Mexico has just like their own mix of all kinds of crazy shit.
But with green chili.
And then they
on it.
threw green chili.
Yeah, that's all they did.
Make it even
They
better.
just added green chili, which is delicious.
It is.
But it's funny like how the everything's so different on the, coming from the different sides of Mexico.
For sure.
But the way you break it down is everyone immigrated to Mexico. So everyone from Europe, which is very bland, went to the East Coast. And everyone from like the Asias and everything went to the West Coast and brought their spices and flavors and integrated that into Mexican food way back in the day. And then when they all moved north, they brought it with them. So what we learned is Europeans suck.
They're good at some things. Colonizing, really good at that.
Yeah. The French are good at food, but none of them like spice.
No.
No.
Yeah, it was.
None of
It's
them.
all bland as fuck.
That was my one beef when I was in Paris. The food
Like,
was
don't
all
get me-
quality better,
It's very good.
but it's
I like spicy.
it was like, I need fucking, where's the MSG, man?
Why are we seasoning salt,
Yeah, dude, like, give me fucking something. Or grillyourassoff.com. Use that code fucking Freedom Friends and all that. Fucking
Yeah, use it. Try it. If fucking Freedom Friends works as a code, I go to your ass off.
I'll text Murph, be like, hey man, update our code. Dude, thanks for coming. So you're a stand-up comic.
Say we have a guest. Let's get a
recently,
little bit about the guest.
Yeah, recently moved here to Texas. How long you been here now?
About a year.
About a year now.
Mhm.
Nice. Welcome.
From where?
So I'm originally from Detroit. That's where I retired out of the military. I was on
Oh,
recruiting
shit.
duty. I was a recruit. Well, I worked at the MEPS. And so I worked at the MEPS.
Did you check out buttholes?
I've seen a few buttholes in my day.
Weird.
No, were you the guy at MEPS that did?
No.
No, he's
I
not-
was
he's
the
not
dude
old
that did
enough.
the
That's a
paperwork.
civilian.
He's not old enough.
They get
You have to be
paid way more.
85 years old to
Yeah.
look at buttholes.
and be shaky.
Yes.
That MEPS doctor is always like 1 foot in the grave.
Yeah,
you know? Barely has a medical license left.
It's a prereq, bro. It's a
The
fucking prereq.
only thing keeping him alive is children's buttholes.
The doctor in Detroit MEPS, the doctor in Detroit MEPS has been there since the 80s.
Yeah.
He's
Wow.
like, he walks with a cane in that motherfucker now. Like, it's crazy.
I'm telling you, I think he travels to all the MEPS. I think we all had our
They just
butthole
have
looked at
one
by the
doctor.
same dude. Yeah, that would make sense to me. It's like you and I were talking about how the National Guard doesn't have staff judge advocates in every state.
No.
It's the same thing with MEPS, I think. I think there's only one butthole looker like across the country. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you weren't at MEPS your whole career.
No, probably the last 6 years though
Yeah.
I was there. I was on recruiting duty, and how it kind of works in the evolution of being a recruiter is you go from like recruiter, and then if you're lucky and you make it a career, you'll move on to being a supervisor. And then after that, it's specialty assignment, just like any other active duty. So you're MEPS, recruiting instructor duty. And
Right.
so I went to MEPS as a liaison for the National Guard. And then when I retired, I went and worked for National Guard Bureau.
Nice.
And I did federal oversight over the military people
Yeah.
at the MEPS.
What was your MOS before the recruiting?
I was a medic, so I was a professional butthole penis.
Nice.
I was a dick doctor.
So you've been to San Antonio.
Oh yeah,
Plenty
I
of
did all
times.
my training.
Right.
In San
Yeah,
Antonio.
yeah. You've had a lot.
And my-
Fort Sam's your shit.
One of my first pieces of ass was here in San
Atta
Antonio.
boy. And she was probably big because it's San Antonio.
No, it was a military girl.
Oh,
Oh,
you're good.
You know, it was one of those.
Yeah. Yeah.
She was crazy.
Yeah.
Weird. Imagine that.
And she got kicked out of AIT because that's where I did that's what they call them. Are you guys all Army guys?
Yeah.
These two are. Yeah.
Okay, so
I
did
speak
my-
the language enough.
Yeah.
I'm adjacent.
He's been indoctrinated into it.
Yeah.
So if you can't get laid at Fort Sam, you're not fucking trying. All right. It's more ass in a toilet seat. The girl to guy ratio at Fort Sam is it's a lot different than
Yeah.
other military bases because I don't think there's any combat arms at Fort Sam. If there is, I
I
doubt
don't
it.
think so.
Doubtful.
Not active duty anyway.
Combat medics.
Yeah, combat medics.
The closest combat thing there would be 4th Recon Company is there, like on the Marine detachment.
But the definition of combat medic is like used too loosely too.
Yeah.
Like I'm a medic, but I went no combat medic. I literally dealt with I gave grown men STD tests in Iraq.
That's what our combat medic did.
I volunteered to go to Iraq.
too.
Yeah.
I volunteered to go to Iraq. I was on recruiting duty. I had like 10 years in the military, and I volunteered to go because I was recruiting kids, and they would be like, you get the question, well, when did you go? And I'm like, oh, fuck. I ain't done
Yeah.
that shit. So then I volunteered.
That's the weirdest reason I've ever heard of why somebody volunteered to deploy.
to be a better recruiter.
So I could be a better recruiter.
Well, that wasn't it. Like all my friends had gone. I recruited for a long range surveillance.
It was
unit.
FOMO.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And these guys were all like, yeah, you fucking pussy. Like they were always calling me out. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to volunteer to do it. But I hadn't been a medic in a long time because I've been on recruiting duty.
Yeah.
Right.
So I volunteered to go with a medical unit of other people that knew what they were doing.
Right.
And I took a rank reduction to go. So I was a 6. I took a bus down to 5
Really?
because I just didn't feel comfortable. I was not at that skill set
Right.
to work at the 30
So you
level.
put yourself in a rank where you would actually have to do the work.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That was
Did you have to
flawed
do, like-
logic there.
Did you have to do like a refresher or anything prior?
Did. So when
Yeah.
you mob a guards unit, they go through training and everything. And then they send you they evaluate your skills as a medic before you go. And so I was at Fort what the the fuck is in Wisconsin? Fort McCoy, Wisconsin is where I mobed out of.
Okay.
And I had to go back through all that shit all over again. So they ran like an AIT.
This was like a crash course.
It's a crash course. And I failed the EMT exam and they deployed me anyway.
Right.
Attaboy.
It doesn't matter.
I wasn't qualified.
That's big Army,
What,
baby.
what year did you deploy?
2006, 2007.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's I got out. I got back from Iraq 2006 and got out
Okay.
beginning of 2007. So
And I was in Iraq in 07 as well.
I was at
Summertime.
Camp Victory.
Okay.
We talked about it with Uday and Kusei's palace. I
Yeah.
lived right in front of that.
These are the fuckers. They were.
our unit
Fucking-
killed the kids.
They
Hell
got 'em.
yeah.
I don't know what palace they stayed at because they were just in a little rental house when we found them.
And
Yeah.
the crazy part was it was like less than 2 kilometers away from our battalion headquarters.
No shit.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
around the
it
corner.
was right around the corner.
Our division headquarters wasn't far either.
No, it wasn't.
Right there.
Yeah.
So you know, like those two blown out palaces on Camp Victory and that lake.
I'm
Do you ever
trying to-
remember those?
Camp Victory?
What city was that in?
Baghdad.
It's like
I
just
wasn't
north
there.
of TQ on the outskirts of Baghdad, right?
Yeah, like BIOP.
We were there.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. We were there, but before it was a fob.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you
We were
guys
there in
are
03.
OGs. I was
Yeah.
there when there was a fucking Subway.
Yeah.
And like, Taco
way
Bell.
different. Way different
green
experience
bean
on our
coffee.
end.
My second deployment was we were in Missoula. So
Okay.
I've never been to the green zone, but I've been to Iraq 3 times.
Okay.
Like-
I never went to the embassy. We had
Never
people
got
at
to
the
go.
embassy, but I never went.
Yeah.
I never went. Like, I'm one of these people. I'm a fobbit, man. I never left. I left the wire on accident.
yeah.
You know, like how you roll out the gate and they check to see if you had the shit. So I made a wrong turn and I picked up a bunch of doctors from BIOP. I didn't know where the fuck I was going. And I pulled right. I'm like, man, I'm seeing all these like warning. And I get to that little area right before you take
Yeah.
off. And they're like, you can't leave here. And I'm like, wait, what? That's fucking outside the wire. And I had these doctors that had just flown in. Shitless. They thought we were going to like combat. I'm like, sorry, boys.
Funny.
Welcome to Iraq.
That's
I think on our first deployment, I think we spent collectively 4 days on a fob
Well,
out of a year.
we built the fobs. Like they didn't exist when the first time we went.
Yeah, they're just. And by the end of the deployment, there was a couple.
the fob.
But the longest I stayed on a
Solution was
fob, the
nice.
longest I stayed on a fob was 3 days, and that was the 3 days before we left Iraq.
Yeah.
No.
That-
Well, in 03, same. Like, we
Yeah,
had nothing.
we had
We were
nothing.
fucking sleeping in vehicles and shit. But when I was there in 04, when I was there in Phantom Fury, the fob at Camp Fallujah was solid. It wasn't like built up great structures, but it was fucking comfortable. You know what I mean? Like, it was.
my second deployment. We were on a littler fob, and we stayed there every night.
Yeah.
but we left 3 times a day.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we would go out into the city and fight for like a week and then have like a day
Yeah.
of R&R. So you'd be gone for like 4 or 5 days and then fucking you come back for a night, and
We lived where like multinational force Iraq was.
Oh,
So like General
okay.
Petraeus, you'd see him running.
Yeah.
That's how close we lived to the flagpole. We were the
Yeah.
troop medical clinic that supported that whole element.
Okay.
oh, okay.
So like there was nobody where I was at that actually knew there was a fucking war going on outside there because it was so like they had the civilian firefighters.
Yeah.
They had
You got a combat action badge because of fucking mortar fire.
well, yeah. That's the funny thing is like the shit would come in and people would be like measuring shit. Like,
They're just really trying, man. They're like,
yeah,
I was pretty close to it.
like I remember one time we get rocketed and everyone's like, we're gonna get a combat action badge. I'm like, you motherfuckers, like you can't be wishing for that shit. Like,
That's like saying, you know what I want today? A Purple Heart. I'm gonna earn one. I'm gonna go get one.
That's the only thing on my agenda today.
Mikey, I've met those people.
You know what? I
Yeah.
tried. There was a couple times towards the end of the deployment in 04 where I tried to get a purple
She was just
heart.
like, I wonder if this will do it.
No, because that's not a purple heart. But like we'd be on a cop and I'd just be like standing there and they'd be like, hey, get down behind some cover. And I'm like, I wouldn't be that mad if I got shot right now. Send me home early.
She's
Yeah.
kind
My
of tired,
hand
you
out.
motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like,
Like,
that's literally what I did. Like I went to lift my chair up because it's just like an office chair in the Amtrak, right?
Okay.
It's like the little lever.
Yeah.
And I put my hand up to pull myself up to look for the fucking sniper or to look for where the mortars were. And the mortar landed right fucking here and broke my hand. And I was like, we gotta move. Like, that's literally how my first Purple Heart came. And I was like, we gotta go. We gotta fucking go down here.
we got rocketed twice the whole time I was there.
Wow.
And the first time was when the WWE wrestlers were there. They did that whole event, and you saw these big ass motherfuckers hiding underneath cars. Like, no, don't do that. They're shooting the guy. That's where the rockets are coming to hit.
That's where they're aiming.
You got to get this concrete bunker that definitely won't protect you.
Yeah.
Hey, 400-pound pussy. Follow that 100-pound dude. He knows.
Yeah, he's got it.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember we were doing all the medical stuff and all the WWE wrestlers were scared. And I was scared.
That'd be fucking great. Like a rocket comes in and it's like, and his name is John Cena.
So when did you join?
I joined in 1996
Okay.
originally, and I got kicked out because I got hurt.
Yeah.
So I got hurt before going to basic training, and I did. There's no delayed entry in the National Guard. When you join the Guard, you're going to drill weekends right away.
Right.
I was going to drill weekends at 17 years old, getting drunk with this artillery.
Same with
unit.
Me too. Me too.
Great.
I joined the infantry guard, and my first couple drills, we were a mechanized infantry unit, so we have 113s, right? I'm loading up the mermites for chow, right? I'm loading it up. Saturday night after we're out in the field, would they back up all the 113s, drop ramps, put up hammocks, turn the Nebraska game on, and we busted out all the mermites that were filled with ice and beer. And we got shit.
That is
And I'm like,
the most National Guard story ever.
yes. And I'm like, I am going active duty, so I can do this every day. And I was wrong.
You were,
Never did it once.
fucked up, sir.
My first drill weekend, I got out of school early on a Friday. This guy's like, "Can you drive a car?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, then you can drive a Humvee." I drove a Humvee
Me
from
too.
Lansing, Michigan to Grayling. It's a 3-hour drive.
Ooh.
I just got my driver's license. I'm driving a fucking Humvee in a uniform with no name tags because I had just joined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my
You haven't
first,
even gone to basic yet.
nothing. Hadn't gone to basic.
Hilarious.
And
Awesome.
I was only asked to go early so I could drive the people drunk to the bar. So we get to the barracks and they're like, "Hey, Skippy, drop us off at the bar and come pick us up." So I'm driving the Humvee and picking these motherfuckers up from this bar called the Red Barn. That's where I learned about hogging. I was 17 years old. They're like, "Son, you're not old enough to go hogging."
A place called the Red Barn, prime hogging.
Oh,
I
yeah.
already know it's prime hogging territory.
You got to bring your corn. You got to bring a can of corn. That's
Fucking
what they
A,
say.
dude.
But I picked those. This is my first drill weekend. I picked up my NCOs up at the bar at 2:30 in the morning, and I hit a deer on my way back on post with a Humvee. So the brush guard looked like something from fucking Victoria's Secrets. and that was like, they're like, "Deer slayer,"
That's how you get a call sign. That's how you get a call sign.
and
Mine was sister fucker.
Wait,
my first time
we're
getting
coming back to that.
white trash wasted, though. White trash wasted was with the National Guard. I was in high school, and I was drinking with these black dudes from Detroit, and we were drinking St. Ides.
Oh, my. I remember that was big right around that time because Snoop Dogg did a commercial for it.
St. Ides special brew.
Yep. Yep. Fuck. I've definitely had that fucking.
So when I was in the Guard before I
Moment.
went to basic, I get given a Humvee to go drive to an event that they were doing, and the radiator hose breaks and it's overheating. So I don't even have. This is literally the first time I'm ever driving a military vehicle at all, right?
Yeah.
So I pull into this gas station, and then there's a house right next to it, and then I open the hood. I'm like looking. I'm like, okay, well obviously that's the problem. And the guy's like, "Well, I have this garden hose that I think will fit." Yeah, if you'll let me do that, right? So I roll to the event with a clamped garden hose from radiator point to radiator point, right?
fucking.
And now,
Yep.
fucking PFC Jansen knows what the fuck he's doing.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even have to call a motherfucker.
And
Yeah.
and that's only a dude who fucks his sister would know to do that.
That's right.
Got it.
It wasn't his sister.
Yeah, it's the royal we.
Well,
Now,
my
now-
wife is one of the sisters.
Yeah. Like it wasn't like a one-time thing.
Yeah.
Got
They've been
it.
kind of doing it for 25 plus years now.
Got it.
One of the sisters.
I
One
got
of
all
us.
my friends to join. So I was like one of those people that got promoted to accelerator rank. I got 7 of my friends to join.
Here's the
Wow.
This is where the recruiting comes in.
Yeah.
I would come back and
Asshole.
the kids at school would be like, "What'd you do?" I'm like, "Dude, I got fucking wasted. I was smoking cigarettes all weekend." And then my friends were like, "Sign me the fuck up." And then me and my friends watch this dude eat his own shit for $500 on a drill weekend. can hear
And how many more people joined after that?
Oh, fuck, dude.
All of them.
That became
Right?
He single-handedly staffed the fucking guard.
it was the craziest
with
shit
all
ever.
quality members.
This guy had just got off active duty and he's like, man, I eat my own shit for $500. I'm so broke. And these two like E4s. This is when I was
They're like-
introduced to the E4 Mafia. They were
No
like,
balls.
they were the sponsors of the new people. Because whenever they make somebody the sponsor, it's never someone that should be. It's the
No.
piece of shit.
Yeah.
It's the
Yep.
worst example. And these guys got tattoos. They're fat. They
What are
probably
you trying to say about
No, but they hadn't passed.
Tattoos and fat. Wait a
No,
minute.
they hadn't passed the pussy test in years. They were like the worst example of like leadership, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh yeah. So they raised money to get this guy to eat his own poop, and they collected a kitty of $500. And I remember sitting on this big dude's shoulders, and the barracks were like, "Eat your poop, eat your poop, eat your poop," and shit into a fucking Dixie cup. And then he pulls the turd out and he puts it in his mouth, and he's like, "Rah!" And there's like shit all over his teeth and everything. And he chases it with a can of Coke.
Oh.
I'd have been like,
One nasty girl in a cup.
We never saw that dude after
Oh.
that weekend. And like
No.
a bunch of the guys got in trouble.
yeah, he dropped to the IRR real fast. He was like, nope, never coming back.
And I still talk to the
guard things for me.
I still talk to the dude that like that sponsor guy. I still talk to that guy to this day.
Yeah.
This is the funniest thing I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
Made a dude eat his own poop.
That's
He
fucking
didn't make,
amazing.
He didn't make them.
Yeah.
The dude willingly did it.
Willingly
Incentivize
did it.
them.
We've all done things for money. I ate a banana for like $300. You know, like shit, that happens.
That was my first indoctrinate. I'm like, I think I found my home, guys.
I don't know what this is, but I love it.
So one of the things that excited me about you coming on the show is we have a segment on the show that I think you're gonna dig because it's basically your entire fucking shtick. And it's our so no shit stories, which
Okay.
you've already told 3 of them, which is fucking great,
In
dude.
less than 5 minutes.
Dude, people are going to genuinely enjoy this. like, yeah, because like we've all like gone through and like Jazz has one where one of his soldiers peed in a hooker's ass, and like,
All right.
and she fucking got really mad and called the cops, and he was like, "What are you gonna do?" Yeah, like it was the whole thing.
You're a hooker. Like that's too much, huh?
I have $1 million. He was a bartender for a long time after he got out, so he's got $1 million. He's just old as fuck, so he's got $1 million because he's been around for $1 million. So you know, but I'm excited to hear like a genuine Poopy Turds McGee fucking Sono shit story.
All right.
So it's supposed to be a non-combat story.
Yeah,
So-
that's the thing.
Hold on.
Hey, Justin. It's supposed to be like a funny, whatever. But
Not combat story.
Like a non-combat related, and like
not like, oh,
Am I
my
the
buddy
only one?
got blown up here.
I watch your
Am I
content.
the only one
so
that
I
caught
know
the Poopy Turds McGee?
that's his Instagram handle.
It is. It was an Xbox Live gamer tag. I never thought it was gonna get popular. I was working as a DA civilian. I was working as a civilian for the National Guard Bureau, so I couldn't be Jason Vest on the internet.
Yeah,
Never thought in a million years anything was gonna go viral, and it did. But it went viral as Poopy Turds McGee, and I'm like, oh fuck, this is now.
I'm stuck
now you're
with it.
just stuck with Poopy Turds.
But it
McGee.
literally was an Xbox Live gamer tag, and it was just for like me and my friends.
It's a great tag. It's a great gamer tag, man.
And then it's like all these like shit related companies started following me, like Squatty Potty.
Nice.
Hey, perfect opportunity for sponsors. you
Yep.
know?
Yeah, man.
And then there was another poop knife. You ever seen the poop knife?
Fucking A, the
Poop knife follows me.
A poop knife.
It's a knife for cutting up big turds.
When you got
While
the
it's coming out of you?
no,
No.
after
That
the
would be a
fact.
scissors, sir.
That's what I thought.
That's just called your sphincter.
After? Like just to get it to go down.
Like if your butthole can't cut it off, like you can't pinch the loaf, and you got a big freaking brick of shit. You get the poop knife, slice it in there, and then it'll flush.
There it is.
Never
Poopknife.com. Look
had
it up.
that problem before.
Poopknife.com.
I've never had that issue either.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Mine's too watery to cut. It's fucking
You need a spoon.
thanks, IBS.
So I have a good shit story, and it's happened in combat, but it isn't a combat story.
So it
that-
doesn't have to be about shit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know.
It doesn't have to be shit. It can be about
It's
anything.
kind of
It
like
just has to be fun.
so like the preface to it is like so no shit there I was.
And like
And then they go into the story.
like the
You know what
first
I
the
mean?
first one of your stories that came to mind when I thought about it was the Waffle House story. That
Oh, lots of them.
like, well, like,
Lots of shit happened to my butthole at a Waffle House in Mississippi. TDY. TDY.
Okay, do tell.
Okay, first off, one of my favorite things about being a recruiter was the TDY trips. That's the best part about being in the military.
Hell yeah.
Temporarily divorced to you, kitty bars, drugs, and young hot pussy, whatever the fuck you want to call that acronym. But the best shit happens on a TDY story because you ain't paying for the fucking trip.
So for the listeners who don't know, TDY is, what is it? Actually stand for?
Temporary duty or something.
Yeah, but you get paid.
We call it something different.
Yeah, you get
We call
paid
it TAD,
extra.
but it's temporary additional duty,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah.
You get per diem.
Yeah,
It's a business trip in the military.
Right.
That's what
Yeah.
it is.
That's
Yeah.
Best
the
trip to
easiest
go
way to
on.
explain
you
it.
get extra money. Anyway,
Yeah. And I remember the first time I went TDY. I was a recruiter and I went to this big seminar. And it was like, I shouldn't have been there. Like, I wasn't responsible to be at this big seminar. I got fucking plastered at this casino. And I started driving around drunk. And I ended up at a Waffle House. And I get out and there's this woman that was straight up just smoking a cigarette. And I'm like, hey, can I bum a cigarette? And I had a cigarette and she was pregnant. Like fucking 9
In
months.
Mississippi.
She's like about to have a baby, fucking pregnant, right? We go inside, we get the patty melt, and she's like, you want to go in the bathroom? And this bitch fingered my butthole in a Waffle House bathroom. And I will tell you what, your butthole has a gag reflex. Yeah, popular to contrary belief, your butthole has a gag reflex. And I don't know what happened, and this is true. She pulled out a vibrating dildo. Put that motherfucker.
She just travels around with it?
If she had it in her purse, it was like the size of like a big finger. It wasn't like full bore and she put that bitch in. I fucking shit myself in the Waffle House bathroom. All over the Waffle House bathroom.
Oh, that's fucking good.
Yeah, and that's not the first. I mean, I've had my dick sucked in a Waffle House bathroom.
So hindsight, looking back, would you do it again?
Oh, fuck yeah. I'm in a committed relationship now, but if that commitment ever broke, I'm going back to fucking Mississippi, motherfuckers.
I'm hanging out in Waffle House.
I got that girl. I talk about her in my videos.
It's
I
the
talk.
story,
Her
yeah.
brother follows me. He's in the Navy. He's like, get her, man.
It was probably his baby.
She found God. She's married to some pastor now in
Oh, my
Mississippi.
goodness.
And every once in a while I'll get in the comments, she found God. And I'm like, she knows what she did to my butthole. All right. I don't give a fuck if she found God. She's still guilty as charged.
Hey,
Like,
No, God found her.
We don't kink shame on this.
That's true.
show.
We don't kink
You know,
shame.
maybe that pastor's into some stuff and
He's got to blow the steam off. Better her than little kids,
like
bro.
I
Like,
creeped on her
shit.
Facebook and it's all these like biblical videos like on YouTube, like these pastors and everything. And it's like these mega church pastors. But yeah, this girl fucking wild. She had 2 dudes' names tattooed on her.
have you ever commented on any of them?
No, I try to lay low because I don't want her coming. I don't want the ghost of pussy. I don't want the ghost of pussy pass coming after me because I've already got a few.
Well, I just like,
Yep.
I mean, you're a comic, so you got to have a handful of good one-liners that you could throw down to,
Sometimes,
you know, like.
yeah. It's just like sometimes like I'll get her family in the comments like when I talk about that shit, like they're still following me. Her daughter follows me, 17 years old.
And it's the kid that was
The
in
one
it.
that was.
It's the kid. That's
Well, she was
fucking,
there.
That's fucking full circle,
Follow-
baby.
She actually, because you know on TikTok you can see who's in your shit. The bitch was in my shit the other day, 17 years old.
Get the fuck
17 years old, and you look at her and she got curly hair. She looked just like me.
Uh-oh.
It's not mine. It's
Could
not
be.
mine. Because the baby daddy was in prison. He's in prison, right? He stabbed a dude in Mississippi at a bar fight. And long story short, I dated this one for a while. I kept flying
You don't
down.
have to make the long story
Oh,
short. We're
dude.
all
Okay.
about this.
Dude.
So I kept flying
You'd
down.
be a fucking idiot if you didn't date this woman.
I kept flying down to Mississippi to hang out, and she had the baby and everything. And one night, this dude like heard us having sex because she like keyed up her phone as we were getting it on. And the next thing you know, we were getting chased by this guy down a fucking road and he shot at us.
Oh shit!
Fired a shot with a shotgun. And she's like, you got to talk to Randy. We got to make this right. And I did. And I'm like,
What the fuck am I going to say to Randy?
Randy's mad.
Randy was in the Mississippi Army National Guard. We're brothers. Talk. He's like, no, man, we're cool. We're cool. Just be good to my girl and be good to, her and everything. And he's in prison. And that when I started popping on the internet, I got a Facebook message and it was that dude from a prison cell phone. Let me know and this is a true story. Let me know he's really proud of me.
That's fucking amazing,
and
dude.
Hell
communicate,
yeah.
Like, I mean, I thought I was dead. Like, this guy shot at us, and he'd been in trouble. Like, if you look this guy up, he's got charges. Like, you can see he fired shotguns at several people. Like, this guy.
This is a normal MO for him. Like,
Yeah.
he's like, I'm
Bad dude.
a shotgun guy.
Once that guy found
Little
out
pepper.
I was in the National Guard and I was a veteran, we were like, nah, bro, we're good. We're good here. And it all ended. And like, I
Wow.
like am still kind of like every once in a while out of the blue, I'll get that prison cell phone message. I
That's
see you, man.
funny.
I get that bitch.
Like, isn't it weird? Like you could be like, you're always a little less mad when you find out it's a vet. And you're like,
because it explains.
all
a
right,
lot.
I get it.
You know?
like, yeah,
Like
I
if
get
it was just
Yeah.
some dumb civilian that did that, like I'd be really mad. But like, dude, I get it.
Yeah. yeah.
Oh, he would tell me, he's like, that bitch gonna ruin you. Like, yeah. He's like, don't knock her up, Jason.
That's fucking amazing, dude.
Yeah.
That is a good Sono shit story, boy.
Yeah.
That's fucking solid.
Full circle, right?
Fucking full circle. That's what it's about, man. Oh, dude. So what do you got going on, man? Like what's the I know you have a big project coming up in May.
Yep.
And I say we fucking
Want to get right into it?
well, let's promote this thing, man. Let's help promote it. Like, you know?
All right. I host the most veteran fucking event ever. May 17th, I host the prettiest butthole in Michigan competition. The world's largest butthole contest.
The world's largest.
It's the
butthole.
world's largest.
How do you measure?
Wait,
hold on,
no.
You're,
The
you
contest is
host
biggest.
it or you,
I host it.
you host it?
I host
Not the
it.
butthole is biggest. the
Oh.
competition is biggest.
Yeah, no, not big.
He's
There's
like, is
some
this like a
big-
gaping thing?
No,
Like,
no.
How do
There's
you
a gate
measure that?
There's a gate category.
Oh, nice.
It's an inch and a half just to get in to compete. If you ain't an inch and a half, bitch, stay the fuck home.
fucking
We don't want
A.
to fucking talk to you. I want a fist to fit in that. Now, my fist ain't that big. It's an inch and a half. Fit that fist in there, you can compete. If I can't,
Is
you
that-
got to go.
Oh wow! How many years have you been doing?
It's a third year in a row. A third year in a row. So when I started doing comedy, I got a lot of support from the guys that I worked with and stuff, like the recruiters and other people I'd served with always supported me. And they sent me this flyer for the prettiest butthole in Michigan competitions at a strip club that's right next door to the MEPS.
Shout out
So
Deja Vu.
I used to drop my applicants off to take the ASVAB, and I took the front license plate off my government vehicle. So I could back that motherfucker in undetected. And I used to go to the strip club while my kids were taking the ASVAB test, and then I'd go back and pick them up. That's where I host that butthole pageant now. And so anyway, I got the flyer, and I made a TikTok that said, hey, you guys should hire me to host. And it went viral. It got like 9 million views.
Wow.
And everybody, 600 people called the strip club and they said, hire this guy to host, hire this guy to host. And then I got a call from Deja Vu, which is a big adult chain. And they were like, yo, can you really host? And I'm like, yeah, I'm a comic. Like, I got this.
I can do.
And I was in the military. Buttholes are my thing.
Fucking-
I got this
You're
shit.
a medic, bro. Buttholes are definitely your
I've
thing.
seen a few
Yeah.
buttholes in my
Yeah.
day.
So what categories do you have?
So we have like, it depends. Well, this year it's going to be different, but in the years past, we've had like creativity.
I want you to know that when I mention this to John, he has a lot of questions.
So
just
many.
prepared.
Oh, I got answers. I got answers. So we go to creativity, the amount of spokes.
I have questions about that.
Yeah. And previously we told people like, if you were going to have like, if you have a spoke requirement, you got to have at least 5 or more spokes.
So spokes are the wrinkles around the outside,
Like
of
a
the
wagon wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like striations
The star.
going out.
And if
Yeah.
you got less than 5, it's fucking nasty.
So-
You got a medical condition.
Now, if it doesn't go from the actual butthole to the outside, does that count?
Yes. Yeah, that counts.
Okay.
Yeah.
So any amount of line.
Any amount of got to have a
Okay.
wrinkle. The stink wrinkle's got a wrinkle, motherfucker.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
If that stink
These are
wrinkle,
my questions. You know, they're
Yeah.
very important
Is,
questions.
is the more the prettier?
you want more spokes.
Okay.
We've
because
had-
then you have more control.
the record is 12, I think.
Wow.
I got 9.
Oh,
You have not, because you've
Did you
shown your
count or
butthole.
did somebody else count?
I know I had a porn star count my 9 spokes.
well, I
Which
bet.
porn star?
I bet.
Her name was Lindsay Ryder.
At a girl.
Yeah, you can look her up. She's pretty hot. She's MILF,
So
over
if,
40.
if you can judge the best butthole in Michigan, I'm pretty sure you could judge the best butthole in this room.
I mean, I could check it out. I don't really know.
Scott, what the fuck are you trying to get us into, man?
I know. Man. I wasn't planning on dropping my pants today.
Yeah, dude, it is a fucking train wreck back there. You don't want to see this.
Fucking prudes. Justin, you're going last.
The first year, The first year we hosted the contest, it was like 600 people came from all over the country. Like people flew in, they made a weekend of it, and we had no clue it was gonna be. There was a line outside the building. People couldn't get in because they didn't buy their tickets early or anything, and it was almost all dudes. So everyone in the audience was like, "Oh, we're gonna see hot buttholes," and there was like this juggalo dude. His wife glittered his shit in the parking lot. There was another guy. There's another guy that showed up with a gas grill and a pit bull, and he like tailgated out in the parking lot. And someone watched his pit bull so we could go in and compete. And he had a butt plug in, and it fell out during the competition. Just rolled in and fell in a glass of Sprite. He couldn't keep because he had to squat down, and it just rolled off.
Did he win the gape category?
That guy didn't even fucking place. One
You
of my
can't fuck up a Sprite, man. It's the
You had a
first
butt
quencher.
plug fall out and you didn't even place it, bro.
Obviously in the wrong category.
We might have to go to Michigan.
a woman won the first year, and she drove all the way from Nebraska. She drove through the night.
That
She needed the
tracks.
prize money. It
No.
was a
Sure.
$2,000 prize.
Oh, wow.
And she drove, and her butthole was tattooed. It looked like the bottle of Kraken.
Oh, had the
Yeah.
fucking had the,
Fucking
oh yeah.
Poseidon. I'll show you guys after the show. She don't give a fuck. I'll show you her butthole. It's fucking crazy.
Fucking A.
And she won first place. And then I think there was a guy that was second place. He went by the stage name Butthole Benjamin, the guy that had his butthole glittered. And then my buddy Ronnie, this kid that has cerebral palsy that had never been to a strip club. Like I take this is like my soldier now, is this kid from Michigan. He's like 26 years old. He's got cerebral palsy, never been to a strip club, never been in the massage parlor. I got him getting jerked up, getting hand jobs. I got this kid right. And he showed his
Fucking A.
he showed his butthole and won third place, and he told everyone it was his Make-A-Wish.
We gotta call Rob back.
he told everyone it was his. He's like, "Fuck Disneyland."
Our first like 5 or 6 episodes, we had another producer.
Oh, it was more than that.
It was Justin and our buddy Rob, who has CP. But he's not as wonky as you'd think, though, man. He's
That's like
I
my
don't know. Have
friend.
you
He's
seen him
not
walk?
very one. Can't tell.
Well, he's got
yeah,
he's got a corrective shoe.
yeah, he's got like a weird foot is the only thing. And it's like one of them, like I think I made a TikTok about it one time. It's like he had different socks, and it was like the Doc and Marty McFly. And so like Doc was all like kind of wonky. And I was like, you need to switch these, man, because Marty needs to be a little. So that's what he did. And he was like, yep, that feels right. So like, yeah, like,
Oh, that is gold.
that's beautiful.
That's in Lansing?
Yeah,
I need to call Brandon.
it's the most Lansing shit.
We have an
ever.
army buddy that lives in that area. He's
He needs to come to this year's competition. It's supposed to be off the chain.
No, I'm going to call him to see if he competed.
They have.
He might have.
There was only one guy that competed last year, and is a gay. He was a guy.
So how many competitors do you get? Like,
Um,
how many competitors were there the first year?
Attaboy.
And that girl right there,
I love the chick with the phone.
her name's Olivia Pearl, and she's like a kind of famous, like a professional dance. My wife,
That's his wife.
she judged it. And then, so that guy right there, that's Butthole Benjamin. That all the way to the left, right hope with his hand around my head. And then the girl in between, the shirtless guy, that's the woman that won. And that is actually just the guy that
I
worked
like her
there.
dress. That's cool.
Oh, the money?
Yeah, the $100 bill.
That's pretty dope.
Sweet.
Yeah, she's pretty cool, and she's probably coming this year too.
She's the reigning queen.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the photographer. So that's like the deja vu photographer.
The pink eye patrol.
Dude, that guy's got the best fucking job on the planet.
He takes like photographs of like porn stars, and so he's got the best job ever.
Fucking A, dude.
Yeah, that's my tattoo. I have a tramp stamp. I got a deja vu tramp stamp to commemorate the event.
That's fair.
I'm like, how many times are you gonna do that? And now I get free entrance into deja vu for life.
Fuck yeah.
I think that's
worth
fair.
it.
It's
Yeah.
worth it.
Yeah, dude.
Worth it. I
Those
go-
cover charges, man. That
Yeah,
shit
it's
gets
$50,
pricey.
$75 every time you walk through that door.
Sometimes, dude.
And
You go
deja
on
vu,
the
you
fancy
can get to do
nights.
some
I go
great
on.
Like-
shit.
Let's go
Like,
to fancy.
I don't
clubs.
need it.
I go on Tuesday afternoons when it's like $5 cover.
So you're just there for the C-section scars.
Fucking right, dude.
Please.
He walks in. He's like, I don't need a stamp. I already got my own.
Yeah, fucking A.
I love seedy strip clubs.
They're fun.
Deja vu ain't a seedy one.
I have a strip club tattoo.
Do you?
My entire fucking sleeve is a titty bar.
Oh shit! Hell yeah, gentlemen's club.
It's a gentleman's club. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I've paid some college tuitions in my
So
day.
when is this event?
May 17th is the 2025 competition.
Okay.
And so it's May 17th. And probably going to be like a 3-day event now.
How do you sign up for it?
Yeah, how do
You
you
just go there the day of the event. Sign-ups from 9 o'clock in the morning till 10:30 at night. They'll take sign-ups all day. And then if you sign up, you get free entrance to the club. You don't have to pay cover or anything like that.
Well, you're showing your butthole.
Showing your butthole.
Yeah.
And like nothing's on camera or anything like that. So like we're cognizant of that. We really are, because we do have some people that are like, hey, I want to show my butthole, but I don't want the whole world to know.
Yeah.
One lady was a school teacher last year.
Yeah, you don't want to ruin careers.
Nah,
and
want
shit.
that shit in
Yeah,
there.
they're just having to have fun.
No.
Like, you don't want to ruin careers because
No.
Especially if they can identify the teacher's butthole by her butthole. Like,
well, that's a problem.
that's a problem.
That's
You know, I'd
or a really lucky kid.
I'd recognize a butthole.
I think, yeah, if I'd seen a butthole before, I'd be like, I've seen
that one before.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
I think it's like a fingerprint. Like
Yeah,
everybody's got a
it is
butthole.
100%. It's a
Yeah,
fingerprint.
definitely.
There was only one smelly one last year.
Whoa, you get that close?
Oh yeah, I get right up there and look, because they'll present to the judges, and I'll be like, right here, you know.
But you got to count, right?
We count the spokes. The judges count, so they have a
Okay.
panel and they have a scorecard and color chart.
Ooh.
So yeah, if that butthole ain't pink in color, your brown eye shouldn't be brown. All right, your
Okay.
brown eye should be pink. If
I agree
your
with
brown
that.
eye's
Yeah.
brown, it's because it's got shit caked up in the spokes, and you
I-
got to buff it out. Like you got to clean it out.
Get a fucking bidet. If you're one of those brown-eyed,
You don't want
eyes.
any mud in your wagon wheel.
There was a man won last year, and this guy was gay as fuck. He went by a stage named Sexy Bread, and he did not have the prettiest butthole in Michigan. He had the prettiest attitude. Those
Okay.
bitches last year all have fucking attitudes.
Yeah.
They were hot as hell. Every girl that entered in the 2024 contest was banging, but they all thought they had it in the butthole bag because they're like, oh, there's no way this guy's going to win. And I'm like, you bitches have no fun. And so these girls go out there and they're showing their butt and they're dancing, but it's like there's no personality.
I hope he did the goat when he showed it off. I'd
He-
have goated it. I'd have fucking folded backwards.
I mean,
Been
you
like,
can see his
"Hey."
balls hanging and shit, and like the crowd went nuts, and it was weird because it was all a bunch of dudes, and it was like, wow, I didn't know you guys were into that. I'm really not, but whatever.
Hey, it's competition. It ain't gay if it's competition.
And
Right. There's money on the line here.
Fucking A, dude.
but we were backstage, and these girls were like, I got this. Ain't no way it's Sexy Bread gonna win. And I'm like, you bitch.
So is backstage of this pageant like other pageants where they're all like in the mirrors getting ready and stuff?
Yeah. So it's in the backstage of the ass pageant is where the strippers normally get ready. So all of their get right stuff and all that
Right.
shit's right backstage there.
Like, so I used to do security at strip clubs. So I know
Okay.
what that room looks like, and there's mirrors everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's just people spreading brown eye in this back room.
Oh yeah. They're like, hey, how does it look?
I just want to go to the back room.
I know.
I just want to hang out in the back room.
The
Like,
pr-
this
Do you
is
have fluffers? Do you have people that like prep the contestants to make sure there's no like things
Dude.
that could go wrong?
fun. Dude, I would totally sit there with like a can of duster and just fucking
Like,
let me just give him a little fucking once over, a little how's your father, just to make sure it's nice and debris free.
That's what I mean.
You know what I'm saying? Dude, that's a fucking
The
that's
best
an important job.
the best butthole last year was this chick from Ohio. She came from Toledo, Ohio, big booty Latina. And she's so fucking hot. And she probably made more money than the prize money and tips.
Wow.
But she still didn't win because they leave it up to the crowd,
So
right?
these ladies can tip.
Yeah.
You-
They
they get
throw
tips.
money. And
Oh, great.
When after this, I'll show you guys pictures, like the unedited pictures and
Yeah.
stuff. And yeah, people throw money. So like whoever competes usually walks away with $200 or $300 no matter what.
Fucking A.
So, like,
Okay.
And like it's usually the poopy verse, which is what my fans kind of claim themselves. And so
Love that.
the poopy verse shows up to the party, and so it's pretty much all people that follow me or,
Okay.
or around that ecosystem. And so yeah, it's pretty supportive. It's a wild event.
So who are the judges?
This year the judges are going to be
Like, do you pick them, or does Deja Vu?
Deja. It's kind
Do you
of a
have
mix.
guest judges?
We do. And so
Okay.
we have this year we have some lady that owns an at-home butthole whitening company, Bright.
At her
Targeted-
home or somebody else's?
And no, it's an at-home kit you can order in the mail,
Hmm.
and then it adjusts your ringtone.
Like,
And the company's name is Bright Targeted Skincare for Dark Buttholes. And I'm sponsored by them. You can use code JasonVaz, free shipping.
fucking A.
Order a pallet of butthole whitening cream. I don't give a fuck. It works.
It adjusts your
Clip that.
ringtone.
Clip that for him, Justin.
But that company, as soon as I started making the contest, I get this butthole whitening company. This lady from Las Vegas is like, I want in.
Fucking A.
And so she's going to be the guest judge this year. There's a couple porn stars that have big followings that want to do it, but Deja Vu ultimately has a say so.
Yeah,
so I think there's going to be a creator, the XBiz adult streamer of the year. Her name's Luna Lux. She's hot as fuck. She's going to be there. And I think there's another dancer that tours the country, very popular, name's Justice Jordan. She's going to be one of the judges. And I'm not totally sure. We've got a lot of people that inquire about it because it does well on social media.
Right.
So like Violent J from Insane Clown Posse wanted to be part of it. So
Of course.
Until he found out there were dudes. He was like, I don't want to look at dudes' buttholes. And I'm like, bro, this ain't your competition. They show out, bro.
Legit show out.
Well, if you ever need some live commentators for it,
Dude,
Oh, it'd be fucking great, guys.
fucking, that'd be great. Have a fucking just play-by-play. Just straight play-by-play.
because you couldn't video it, so it would just have to be
Audio.
You could put a PG picture of the contestant, and then the audio.
Dude, I would have him wear a
performance.
fucking GoPro. And we would just get the live
Oh,
feed.
they all have headlamps. The judges have headlamps. And so,
You got to.
yeah.
They have, like magnifying glasses too.
This all makes sense to me.
Can you pull up Instagram?
Yeah.
Pull up Instagram. Pull up my Instagram real quick, and I'll show you the reel that we can air. That's aired. That's PG.
I mean, he'll block out whatever.
No, you don't
He'll
need
be
to.
fine.
Go to my reels.
He'll be all right.
And then scroll down. That one, that lady right there with like right there. Click
Yeah.
that. No, the next one. That one right there.
2024 Ass Pageant Battle of the Brown Eye.
Battle of the Brown Eye.
Competition.
That's the big booty Latina. She's so
That's
hot.
the winner?
That's the winner from the year previous. She came back. Those are the two judges. The dude in the ski mask.
Dude, it's
It ain't a butthole contest, and they got a black dude in a ski mask. All right, guys.
That's fair. That's fair.
That girl's hot as hell too. Oh,
I'm not seeing any of them here that I'd kick out of bed for eating crackers. That's for sure.
that is
That's Justice. She owes her feature set. That's a big booty Latina.
Good for them.
Look at the editing on that. no buttholes. Look at the comments.
hilarious.
It should be an Olympic sport.
Right?
Everyone likes a brown-eyed girl.
But that was the promotional reel from that contest, and that was filmed by Deja Vu's corporate videographer and photographer.
Imagine being like CEO of Deja Vu, and you're like, "Hey, boss, I got an idea. Now hear me out."
They had no clue that it was going to be so successful. And then like last year, there wasn't as many people. It still sold out, but it wasn't like 600 people.
Yeah,
But this year we have people calling because like the ticket link isn't up yet, and they're calling the club
already.
to get their tickets early
Yeah.
so they can make their travel arrangements. Like there's a lot of
Is
people
this the
flying.
only location they do it?
No, it's not. It's the only
Really?
really successful location they do it. In Nashville, they do it every weekend.
Oh, that's
Oh, yeah.
Wow,
And then
that like waters it down. man.
yeah,
Like,
it doesn't
nobody
have
wants
the
to see
I
long
much
watered
term.
down.
prefer the fucking annual.
Yeah, nobody wants to see
The
watered down
annuals.
Annual.
buttholes.
I mean, there's people like, we're coming third year in a row. They have fun merch. Usually, like the merch is really hilarious.
Dude, I'd fucking tailgate at that bitch.
That they do. There was these guys that look just like you two, big bearded dudes, right? Motherfuckers drove up, rented a motorhome from from Kentucky and drove up.
We both got RVs, bro. Let's go.
I mean, the amount of veterans in the audience it should have just been a veteran event. Like it was all
100%.
all like short hair dudes.
You got the old MEPS doc in the back row. Like, oh, no, that one's not good.
This is my dream.
That's the guy who you should get to fucking judge this bitch.
Yeah, but the way he judges, he puts a finger in it.
He's
No,
just
you
like-
can't do that, doc. Whoa.
The first year, a guy that I recruited,
I didn't get my
he
butthole.
spit
I
his-
didn't either.
I think you got molested. Man.
Yeah.
No,
like,
it's because I have a prettier butthole.
I think you got that might be true, but I
I
think
mean, Justin, did you get?
Nope, there's
He
never been a
just took-
finger in my butt.
He just took a peek at mine.
yeah, he just looked, and it was like to be fair to his credit, he was just kind of one of these.
Okay.
You're good.
You put your
Yeah.
pants on.
It was real quick, man. Like,
My recruiter was so funny. Like that was actually what got me to join the military. Was my recruiter was so fucking funny.
Mine was
He
great,
was
too.
just a sketchy dude. He was not the kind of like he tried to fuck my mom.
dude,
Like I
Dude,
came
mom was
home
a
from
pussy
school
now.
and the guy was smoking, sharing a cigarette with my mom,
He's
and I'm
just
like,
trying
oh,
to get her to sign that paperwork.
Sergeant Dunkel just fucked my mom. You know what I mean? And anyway, that guy became my command sergeant major like later on. But when I joined the military, he goes, hey, they're going to put a finger up your ass. And I kept telling him, dude, I'm so scared. I'm excited to join, but I don't want to finger up my butt. And I was bent over. And then the MEPS doctor's like, you can like, I was bent over for a while. He's like, you can like, you don't have to keep spreading your cheeks. And I go, I thought you were going to put a finger up there. He's like, not unless you want me to. I was like, first indoctrination. And I'm like, well, the recruiter told me you were.
I would totally play gay chicken with that job.
I'd have been like, I don't think you'll do it, pussy.
So whenever I was a recruiter, I would always tell the guys, hey, you got to go one knuckle in. Are you ready to do it? And there were so many kids like, I don't give a fuck. Like during the war, I'd be like, hey, they're going to put one knuckle in your butthole. I'm sorry. That's just how it is. Are you ready? He's like, I don't give a fuck. I want to serve my country. I'm like, you're
Fucking patriotic motherfuckers, dude.
You want to be an American? Yeah, are you a fucking American? Act like it.
Fucking A. Take a one knuckler for America, god damn it. That's awesome.
I do have a question. You mentioned it briefly in the beginning of the episode, but you said you gave STD tests.
I did. So like when I was in Iraq, I was such a shitty medic. I was not a good medic. You don't want me treating your ass. All right. I hadn't done the job in forever. I volunteered from recruiting duty. So I wasn't experienced. That's why I took a rank reduction.
Yeah.
So I did all the bullshit jobs.
Yeah.
So I was like the dude that taught everyone how to do the admin shit. Like I was doing all the evaluations, the awards, one of my jobs was I gave men STD tests. I was the pecker checker.
Yeah.
And so they come
Punching
through. And
boars.
I held a few dicks in my hand, man. It was fucking gross.
Yeah, and stuck a 10-inch Q-tip up it.
Well, the first time I did it barehanded. I forgot to wear gloves. I grabbed this
I
fucking
forgot
dude.
to wear gloves.
I grabbed this. Oops.
That time, that's the only time I would remember to wear gloves.
I forgot to wear gloves, and the doctor. I deployed with this special forces dude that was in Vietnam.
Yeah.
He was like a whatever the 18 Delta, the special
Yeah.
forces medics were in Nam. Well, that guy became like a trauma surgeon. This
Okay.
dude was a badass old dude. And he told me, he's like, hey, when you rod him off the range, you got to milk it a little bit to get like the goop out, right? So.
He's right. That's correct.
And the first time I did it, I grabbed this guy's dick barehanded. I got in there aggressive. I swabbed the fuck out of that dude's dick. He's man, these bitches in Germany. And
Just
I'm like,
wallered him out.
and so the doc was like, hey, how'd that procedure go? And I'm like, man, I milked it. I got a sample. And he's like, motherfucker, I made that up. You don't need to do all that. I thought you knew. And
So you barehand jerked off a dude just because a
With a
guy
Q-tip
fucking
in his dick.
because a guy goofed you?
full
You
bird.
basically sounded a dude. You're like,
And I
just
would go-
milking the bull.
And I would go to lunch with this guy. I came really tight with him overseas, right? And I go to lunch with him. He's a full bird colonel. And he'd be like, hey, Jason, tell everyone how you jerked a guy off. He's like, sometimes you got to learn these things the hard way.
Dude, that's fucking great.
Yeah. I just had this old freaking Vietnam freaking full bird colonel tells me to jerk a dude off.
Dude, my my last unit, when I got to my last unit, I was there for maybe, I don't know, a few weeks, and I got a vasectomy. And I had we'll call it a complication. I had a hematoma in one of my nuts. So it grew like practical joke size, like the size of this fucking glass. Like it was just fucking huge. It looked like a beer bottle. It was fucking hilarious. And my doctor was a fucking maniac. My urologist was crazy. He was like, I was like, what do I do? And he's like, fucking do whatever you want. Fucking show everybody. Who cares? It's not
Yeah,
really yours.
fuck it.
Like, he's like, yeah.
Fuck it.
Potato sack your friends. Who gives a fuck?
Does it just go away then, or like?
Yeah, he's like, it'll go away on its own. Like,
Okay.
yeah, dude. I've never told you my vasectomy story. Oh, it's
you-
hilarious.
I guess I never asked about the cure.
Yeah. No, it just goes away.
I told you about the dude when I was a RIP holdover, and he had elephantitis in one of his nuts.
Yeah. This
And
shit's
they
scary.
literally gave him a profile that says must masturbate 3 times daily. And so like we'd be getting ready to go do like detail shit, and like, I need 5 bodies, and he'd be like, I'm on profile. Let me see that profile. And they'd show it to him, and they'd read it, and they kind of like, then they hand it back to him, and he's like, yeah, so I got to go up to the room. And they're like, go ahead.
That's pretty
It's
cool
like-
to get a profile for jerking off. That's awesome.
Like, it just so happened during this period, we got a brand new corpsman in the unit, right? And it's funny because his name's John Greer and he lives here in San Antonio and I see him all the time and he's a fan of the Freedom Friends. Hey,
Fuck
buddy.
yeah.
And so,
Oh, John.
so the first time that I saw fucking Doc, the very, very first time, I was like, hey, man, I got something to show you. And I just fucking, and he's like, yo, what the fuck? So like the first time he's meeting me, I'm his company gunny. So I'm in charge of him. And he's like, he's like, I don't know. I was like, I'm just fucking with you, man. It's fine. And he's like, why is it so big?
It's
I'm like,
normal.
thank you.
I'm your gunny. It's normal.
Yeah. I got a lot of balls, bro. Fuck.
You know that your balls can be too big to join the military?
I didn't.
That's a condition. I had this guy I recruited,
What?
or I tried to recruit,
How'd you find out?
because I had a guy I tried to recruit and he goes in and he only had one testicle,
Okay.
but it was fucking massive.
It was
and-
like both fused or something.
I don't know what the fuck it was, but he had one ball and he didn't know he had one ball. Like
He thought he had
this
two?
dude was sketchy. He was like 25 years old. He had like a 50-year-old wife. And they were sketchy. And I took him back and his wife's like, he's like, you have to explain to my wife what happened. She's going to think I backed out and didn't join. And I'm like, he's got one ball and apparently it's abnormal. And she's like, it works good on me. And I'm like, oh, like, this guy was gross. He stunk like shit. Like he stunk. I had to give him a shower to go to MEPS.
Jesus
I took him to the
Christ.
armory. I'm like, motherfucker, you got to wash before you go. Cause you can be too smelly to join. I've
Yeah.
had that happen a lot.
Wow.
Really?
I didn't recruit the best and the brightest, man. I recruted people that
Hey,
Bottom of the barrel,
make your
baby.
numbers.
bottom of the barrel.
Fucking
I mean,
I served with a couple of those. Thank you.
oh, dude.
yeah, we've got you. I've seen your product. Thanks for that.
When I recruited for this long range surveillance unit, and they did real shit in
Yeah.
the war. And I put this guy in. His name was Al Massey, and this dude was fucking nuts. And he literally got one of my best friends almost killed. He was dragging a saw by its like sling on the ground. On the fucking ground, and it like cooked off and everything, and everyone was like, you're the one that put Al Massey in, and I almost got my fucking ass beat.
Wow.
Yeah, and then that actually what got kind of made me turn things around a bit, because I'm
Yeah.
like, man, I gotta stop putting these
It's like-
fucking dummies in. Like,
I keep forgetting that we're at war right now. I can't be getting these fucking window lickers in this bitch. Like, yeah.
that unit I recruit for wouldn't take any of my people. After that, like this, like it was an airborne unit,
Yeah.
and so they were real specific about like who they put in, because a lot of times people can't handle that training pipeline.
Right.
Because they really want you to get Ranger qualified in long range surveillance. Like that's the
Yeah.
end game.
Yeah.
And if you can't make that, like that was the only guard unit I'd ever worked with that had such a real standard. Like they took the Army physical fitness test every weekend.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. It was real. They were real soldiers. It wasn't your traditional guard unit.
Yeah.
Was that what it was like, Justin?
No, mine was full of shit bags. We just still jumped out of planes.
No.
Oh, were you in an airborne guard unit?
I wasn't an airborne.
Hell yeah, man.
No, we still had plenty of fucking dumbasses.
Oh, I put parachute riggers. You don't even have
Oh.
to pass the ASVAB and be qualified to be a parachute rigger.
I don't need to know that.
Yeah,
I know, right?
I'm a fucking dude. I'm a jump master still. Like,
No,
I don't need to know this.
They have
You
an
do it.
enlistment
You do it
option.
the right way, though.
Okay.
In the military, those people are fucking morons.
Dude, our riggers are active duty military riggers that come down, man. I'm fucking terrified.
Those ones are different.
That's because they're working for money.
Those ones are different.
They get like $25 a pack.
I
job,
put a
dude. They're killing
rigger
it.
in that got an 18 on the ASVAB.
Wow.
Because so like all the services have an option called a Cat 4 enlistment option. Every branch has it.
Yep.
Some choose to exercise that branch. Marine Corps, very rarely do you see a Cat 4 get in the Marine Corps.
Hmm.
Active Army, it's a certain percentage of their total number. I think it's like 3 or 4%. I don't know what that number is now.
Yeah.
But the National Guard it's off the state. So it's a
Okay.
percentage, but it's based off of the state amount. Like each state's allowed a percentage of their enlistments, Cat
Okay.
4. So it'd be like, who's got a Cat 4? I'm like, I do. And this goes, we're gonna be a parachute rigger. Fuck it, let's do it.
How's that feel, Justin?
I made it out alive.
Good thing you were in Texas.
Yep.
But you know what? Those Cat 4s, some of them make the best soldier.
Yes.
That's true.
Well, it's because they just do what they're told.
Exactly. They're
Dude, being a junior military member, like, and I don't care what branch of service you are, it's the easiest fucking job on the planet.
Yeah.
because you're handheld
They tell
everywhere
you
you go.
what to do,
Right
when
place,
to do it,
right time, right uniform.
how to do it,
Yeah.
and what to wear while you do it.
Dude, they teach you how to fucking brush your teeth. They teach you how to take a shower. They teach you fucking everything, man. Like,
I recruited this cat for, and I still talk to him to this day. And he was a killing freaking
thanks.
machine in Iraq.
that's not
Nice.
enough.
He had
It really
body
that's
count.
exactly what
The
I
truck
want.
driver.
Nice.
And you know how those convoys were always getting attacked and everything? And this dude he was in a gun truck mowing motherfuckers down. And the guy's like kind of still cuckoo for coconuts, but those
Yeah.
are the people you need when you go to war. Sometimes you need the people to shut the fuck up and do what you're told.
Yeah.
That's called Marines. Those are called Marines. Yeah.
Do y'all remember we talked about it on the show? I don't remember when, but the IDF was recruiting people with Down syndrome.
Yes. Yes. No, it was autism. It was autism.
Autism.
Oh yeah.
For map reconnaissance.
Yeah.
Little
But it's
bit of
like-
a difference.
It's like, dude, that is
Yeah.
so fucking
Yeah,
brilliant.
it's like, hey, we have
Yeah,
these
dude.
people with a superpower. Let's use them.
Yeah, it's fucking brilliant. They were like, hey, you read maps really well, right? Just pretend these lines are trains. And they're like, fucking A.
I love trains.
They're like, it's here, 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 here. That's the bad guys. Get them. it's like oh.
Well, back in the day, you could tell kids to lie about shit. Because remember when you guys joined,
Yeah.
the recruiters like, don't say shit.
Oh,
you
I
know?
thought,
yeah.
I lied my face off.
Yes means your enlistment stops. No means
Allegedly.
National Guard opportunities.
Right, yep.
But now all your medical record comes
Everything's
back.
digital.
Everything comes back. There's a system called MHS Genesis. They were just fielding it when I left as a civilian, and that changed the fucking game because the recruiters can't be shady no
No,
more.
everyone
Nope.
gets flagged now.
Yeah.
And it's the majority of the flags are all bullshit.
It's such bullshit.
Mine wasn't really medical. I got a ticket.
No, like
Right before
literally,
I
it's to the extent of
Like-
like if you went to like your school psychiatrist because you weren't feeling good that day, and they documented that you had mental health issues, that fucking shows up
Yeah.
and
Your
they
school-
flag
Your
you.
high school had a fucking
when
psychiatrist.
they had the recruiting
The high
crisis-
schools today, motherfucker.
They probably
I was
do.
reading about that system, and I was
Yeah.
just like, "This is cool." No, this sucks.
No. they were fielding it, and like they were fielding it when I was working in Chicago as a civilian.
yeah,
And it was like everyone's like, no, this is never going to come. And I'm like, no, you guys don't understand.
here.
It's here. And like they started it with veterans. So when people would enlist and like their VA rating would come, so a lot of times people would lie
yeah.
when they want to get in the Guard or Reserve. They lie about their
Like,
VA
oh yeah,
rating.
I'm not rated.
Yeah, and no, they're over 30%. You can be in at 30%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's anything over that is
Yeah.
where you may. And I know even when you're 30%, they prorate your disability check based off your drill weekend. I don't know how that
Right,
works,
yeah.
but it's like a math problem.
Yeah.
But people were enlisting coming back. Oh, you're 50% from the VA.
Yeah.
And then we just refer it back to the unit because prior service, there's no delayed end. You join the Guard, you're in. Once
You start soon as
once
you
the
sign.
state picks you up, they assess you.
Yeah.
Like this G1 assesses you, you're in.
Yeah.
And it's that way with kids that join that don't go to basic training. When you join the National Guard and you enlist, you're assessed. You're a member of the military. You've got a
Right.
red report and everything. You don't become a qualified soldier until you get an MOS.
Yeah.
And
You're just
Like when
not rated.
I was in the Guard, I couldn't deploy for state deployments until I was out of high school.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Were you like a 90-day reservist? That's what they call them in the Marines, where like you go to boot camp like during the summer between your junior and senior year.
I was split up.
Yeah.
But-
split
but-
up is what you guys call them. Okay. Yeah, we call them 90-day reservists. Same shit. Yeah. All right.
I recruited a lot of those too.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
A lot of them
Let's-
kids didn't go back to AIT, the ones I recruited.
My my older brother did it, man. Like fucking, because I remember him coming back, and I'm like, you're not even fucking graduated yet, man. Like that's weird. Like,
That's what happened to me. I joined as a junior in high school, and then I got hurt.
Yeah.
And I couldn't go to training, and they discharged me, and I had to go get healed up, and I re-enlisted, got back in, and then shipped off as a senior.
So your injury didn't prevent you from re-enlisting?
They didn't give
again?
you a weird RE code. Or
No, because I sprained my ankle. It wasn't like a crazy
Oh,
thing.
okay.
The day before I was supposed to go to basic training, I was on a trampoline drunk with my friends,
That'll do it.
and I freaking popped my ankle, and so I had to go to the MEPS with crutches.
A tale
They
is
were
old
like-
this time.
The recruiter's like, you got to just go with crutches to show that you want to ship. And I would have shipped. And they said no. And then I ended up getting discharged. And then
Yeah.
once,
Your recruiter was so pissed at you.
well, no, because the Guard don't give a fuck.
Oh,
Yeah. When you're,
Well, so he got that same number twice.
Yeah. You get, there was a scam. Like, this is how shady I was. And I can say this now because I'm not affiliated with it. I used to recruit kids I knew were going to pop on the piss test. And then I'd clean them up and enlist them again.
it's a good double number.
Double number.
Fucking
Wow.
A, dude.
Yeah. And I mean, there was a time, and it's not like this now. I mean, this is a time where I was like at the generation where it was still pretty shady.
Yeah.
And I remember my supervisor going, is that guy hot? And
That was-
I'm like,
that was-
he's hot.
That was our
Put him in.
generation.
Put him in.
Yeah.
You'll teach him a lesson.
That's-
You'll
that's
pop out,
yeah.
discharge him, put the motherfucker back in.
This is the recruiters that we dealt with.
No, I know.
Oh fuck! I was told I was getting a free Humvee and a puppy, and if I was really good, I get a spare tire. Like, literally, like, it was all bullshit.
my recruiter, he's legendary. He retired as a sergeant major, and but yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Oh,
I have stories.
Mine ended up becoming, we call them career recruiters. So we have like 8411 is
I'm talking
the
about
recruiter.
I'm talking about my guard recruiter.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're like your initial guy, the very first guy, right? So we have 8411s. That's a recruiter MOS in the Marines. And then you have 8412s, which is career recruiter. And that's the dudes who they decided to stay, right? And those are the dudes who become like master sergeants and master gunnery sergeants in the fucking recruiting area, right? And mine ended up doing that. He was a sergeant when I went to boot camp, right? He had just got there. I was one of his first recruits. By the time I graduated 3 months later, dude was a staff sergeant. I went to SOI, School of Infantry. I came back after went to SOI Machine Gunners Corps SEER, came back, and he was a gunny. And I was like, what the fuck, dude? The guy was so fucking good. He went from like sergeant to gunny in like 8 months. And I was just like, holy fuck, man. Like,
I mean, I shouldn't have retired.
Same.
I've been busted down. Like I got a field grade Article 15 and the general letter of reprimand for doing a dirty enlistment. And I went from 6 to 5. So I've been an E5 twice and an E. The only rank I haven't held twice is E4
I got that
and
one.
E7.
Wait, what'd you get out as?
I got out as a 7.
Okay.
I retired as a 7. You can't work at the MEPS and not be a 7. It's
I got-
a requirement.
I got frocked to 7, but that doesn't mean shit because you never got paid.
Oh.
And then I had a new boss come in and he was like, why are you
Yeah.
wearing gunny chevrons?
Tim Walls.
Yeah, right. He was like, why are you wearing gunny chevrons? I'm like, I'm frocked. And he's like, not anymore. And he was like, go put staff sergeant chevrons on. I was like, roger that.
Yeah, but he didn't run around giving people a command sergeant. My motherfucker was giving people command sergeant. He had a coin. Tim Waltz had a command sergeant major coin. He had a coin for the rank that he never fucking
Dude,
held.
If you're one of our
He held the
listeners
rank.
and you have that
He got
fucking
paid after.
coin,
Oh, he did. Okay, I didn't know that.
I want to see
After
that
he
coin.
retired,
I wanna hold
they
that
realized that he never actually went to the Sergeant Major Academy.
Oh,
And so then they changed his retirement to E8.
Nor
Yeah.
completed his
It's PME.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, the minimum. Yeah. Because
But he did have that position,
Yeah.
and it was legit.
He just failed. He just failed to.
He never went to the
he never went to the school. Right. That
Yeah.
happens a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
It almost
It
happened
really
to me.
does.
It almost happened to me. I was almost 40 years old in the senior leaders course as an E7 because I hadn't gone.
Yeah.
I was on recruiting duty. They don't let you go to schools if you're putting people
Well,
in the
yeah.
war.
Like I did 5 years or 4 active, 1 in the guard, and I made my 5 and got out before I ever went to PLDC.
Yep.
I never had to do a leadership school, and I still got my rank. But it's because I got promoted when we were overseas.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, combat promotion.
Yeah. And so like when they got back, they're like, you got to go to PLDC. I'm like, I ETS in 4 months. And they're like, oh, okay, we're good. And I'm like, yeah, no, we're good. I was like, because I would have dropped day 1.
well, you see
You know
that.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
why the
Well,
fuck?
and then the unit would have to spend the money.
Yeah.
For what reason?
Like, why you fuck no?
Yeah.
No,
Well, you
we're not
see
playing
that
this
when
game.
you deploy. Like when you deploy, you see a lot of people get promoted on deployment because number one, especially in the guard, they're working out because they're
Right.
on active duty. So if they were fat, if they're deployed, they're probably not fat anymore if they're working out. And usually you can get one promotion and you'd see a lot of that shit. And I was watching it because I did a lot of that paperwork and there ain't no way this motherfucker is going to go to the school. They're going to go fat again.
They're packing all that shit on their fucking post-deployment leave.
Yeah.
Like it's all coming back. Hell yeah. They're gonna drink those pounds back.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
That's what I did. Like the amount of money I've spent from deployment money
Right.
just on booze and bullshit. Like,
yeah.
fuck me, man. I could have so much more stuff right now.
My best friend who's no longer with us, he deployed 7 times.
Wow.
7 times. He volunteered. So like we deployed, and then if you're a guard unit, you can stay over there. If you can, as an
Okay.
individual augmentee,
Yep.
they'll keep you there. So this dude, we came home, he stayed over there another fucking year.
Yeah.
And then
Wow.
you're so many days that you can have. You have to come home.
Yeah.
Came home, went back again.
Yeah.
So he was there for the beginning of Iraq, like when you guys were there, and then he was in that new dawn. He closed it,
Wow.
and he blew all his money on prostitutes. Cocaine, and this dude lived it up. He had like $100 grand in the bank.
How'd he
Oh, yeah.
how'd he go?
He had a car accident. It's kind of funny how he died though.
Ain't that a bitch?
He died the
dude?
most
Like,
veteran way ever. He died with about $2,000 of fireworks in his fucking car. And he
Did they go off when he got in
Yo,
the
he
accident?
picked up some scuzzy chick at the bar, right? And she was smoking a cigarette and they were driving and the ash must have flicked off. and all the fireworks.
No.
Pew, pew, pew.
Get the fuck
And
out
I
of
went,
here.
so like the day he died, I just transferred from New York back to Michigan. I was a fucking wreck. But I'm like, you know how it is when you lose one of your brothers, you got to go to
sure.
the site. I got to go see it. You know,
Yep.
it's probably not the healthiest thing to do.
It's closure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I went there and they had all his shit from the car, like his name tapes, everything. And this guy was the kind of guy that had video footage of everything.
Yeah.
So this guy wasn't even dead 12 hours. And I had some pretty high up people in the Michigan National Guard go, where are the legend files? Because he called himself a living legend. He had video footage on everybody, like just
Fucking
doing
A.
degenerate shit. Here I am,
This is like the
sobbing my eyes
it's like
out.
the military's Diddy.
At the accident scene looking for the legend files, right? Can't find him anywhere. And then the guy that owned the house with the tree here, he's like, I tried to save him, but the bottle rockets were shooting at me and I couldn't help it. Because I'm like, if anybody else would have died this way, my boy would have been talking about this shit for fucking weeks, man.
When you said he had fireworks in his car, I didn't think that was the cause of the accident. That was a twist.
No, it was a bitch smoking a cigarette with fireworks
Yeah.
behind her.
And
That's what it is.
But he had the good shit. It was like you go to Indiana, like the M80s or whatever they call that. I mean, he had a lot of shit in his car. And I had to go to the police. And here I am like, listen, I went in full uniform and I'm like, this is sensitive material for the National Guard. I need this laptop immediately. And this detective's like, I don't think we can do that. Because they had, and then they gave me that fucking laptop. I'm like, I had to level with this guy. I'm like, a lot of people are going to be, because I mean, he had deployment video.
Oh, yeah.
He was at they were at that long range surveillance unit I used to recruit for. They were at Abu Ghraib. So
Okay.
they had this.
Oh, he had the goods.
He had this good shit. I just couldn't believe. And literally at the funeral, I'm a wreck. And all these like captains and first sergeants, are you good? All right, where's the computer? I still have the legend files at my house.
Fuck you guys.
Hear that, everybody?
Bring it.
What?
Did you ever go through them?
Not yet. I want to, because there's a lot of funny deployment videos that we made too that weren't like
Be afraid of the shit you're gonna.
you're gonna get people court-martialed or anything like that. But there's a lot of rough shit on it. Rough shit.
Yeah.
Rough shit. And a lot of other things like naked chicks and all sorts of shit.
Dude, the amount of fucking Army women, Army officers, and Army enlisted who left their fucking thumb drive in the fucking computer.
That's insane.
Dude, I have so many, like so fucking many of these fucking files and videos and pictures.
You know what's
and
funny
shit.
about that?
Like,
I have
like-
files and videos from a thumb drive that was left in a computer at an OGA compound. An OGA compound is other government agency.
Yep.
In other words, the guys that don't exist.
Yeah.
And there was a thumb drive left in there, and I have some OG footage and pictures from when they got Saddam.
Oh, wow.
Like before anything was released, shit that was never released. It's on a hard drive at home. I'll have to go look it up one of these days. But so we were guarding that compound, and I log on to send some emails
I
one
want to
night.
see that shit.
And typically, like the computer's like cleaned after everyone uses it. Like somebody uses it, they log out, it cleans everything. Next person logs on, and you literally there's an open desktop, not a single anything on it. Right? I log onto this computer, and there's like 3 folders on the desktop, and I'm like, huh. Me being, me, and I'm like, I wonder what that is. Double click. It opens up, and I'm like, oh. I immediately throw a thumb drive in, and I'm like, click on the next one. I'm like, oh. I immediately pull that, wipe the computer, didn't say a fucking word.
I caught a glimpse of Saddam when I was overseas.
Yeah?
So where I was at, the Uday and Qusay's palaces, the blown out palaces, I don't want to say where he was being held, but during the trial, but
okay.
our unit did a lot of the healthcare for that mission. So there were other detainees besides, there was like 3, 4, 5, and 6. And so we did his physical. That I didn't personally, but we did the physical because like before, the Iraqis execute him, they gave him a full chapter 2 fucking physical.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
wow.
like there
turn your head and cough.
I'd never seen so many officers run to do that exam.
Oh,
He
bro.
had there was a team of officers. It was every officer in our unit, get the fuck out, the choppers, the security. I'd never seen, there were U.S. Marshals.
There's
there were
some-
all sorts
There's
of
some
shit.
E8 18 Delta going, get the fuck out of my clinic.
Right?
No, they call some radio code and these dudes show up, these Air Force dudes with dogs. You see choppers, everyone out.
Wow.
And
PJ
everyone,
PJs.
and I don't know what the fuck these dudes were. And so he did, that was for a dental exam. So like right before he was executed, they did the dental exam, kick everyone. He got a dental exam from a fucking 1-star general.
Damn.
Just so the 1-star general could put it on his fucking, what do you guys call it?
He's a-
OER?
Yeah, he's a 2-star.
Yeah. And like, but it was pretty cool though. I mean, like I never directly got to deal with that stuff, but I
Yeah.
caught up when he was going to get his dental cleaning. It was right by where I lived. The barracks, my trailer was by where the dental side of was, and I
Yeah.
saw it. I saw him.
Was
They
he
had-
like cuffed up walking in? or
They
what?
had him in one of those black fleeces,
Yeah.
and he had some pants on. It was almost like he was like in camo and everything. And
Yeah.
they just shoved him in the door.
Huh.
I saw his back of his head,
Okay.
Oh, wow.
quick and dirty.
Oh,
And
shit.
but they kept him at. There were a couple facilities on that base where he was at.
They
He
probably
was at
moved
during
him a
the
lot.
trial. They did because we had.
How much income did you guys take while he was on that base?
I don't think anybody knew because there was so tight around that Lost Lake area. You couldn't take pictures. And if they caught you with a camera, there were dudes roll right the fuck up. Because my first time there, it's Iraq, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't see the no photograph signs. And
Like,
we didn't know what it was.
Sorry, guys.
Right.
National Guard.
And like, the medications were his medications were filled from our unit and everything.
Okay.
But they put him in that system under a different, it wasn't.
Dude, I'd have been
Yeah.
Yeah, it was-
SIBO in that motherfucker.
I don't know much about it. I just know from the doctors that we had that were on the mission and
Yeah.
the enlisted people. There's actually one of the medics, I think, lives here in San Antonio. I was deployed with that was
Yeah.
Yeah?
with him
Fucking A, dude.
to the end.
You know, it's funny. Like, they knew that he was going to get executed, and they still had him on meds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like,
Well, that's
like that was always my question. Like death row people in jails.
well, that's us. That's the American
But, like,
way of doing things.
Why do they alcohol swab before they inject them?
Right.
What the fuck are they worried
Yeah,
about? This dude's about to die.
Infection. It's quality
No,
care.
I
It's
know what
quality
you're
care
saying.
until the end of life, bro.
Yeah, he's got
it's-
8 more minutes.
Yeah, but it's an ethical thing. Is that 8 minutes more precious than any other 8
That
minutes of his life?
infection
Type
he
of thing?
won't feel in the next 8 minutes.
No, I agree. I think it's ridiculous. It's a waste of fucking money. But that's the whole. It's an
I mean,
ethical.
it's a
thing.
waste.
Yeah.
Over the past 100 years, it's been a waste of like $2.57.
Probably.
They've used like 18 wipes. We're good.
Yeah, we're fine. Like we're good with spending the money.
Elon
but-
doesnent have to kill that side of the government.
Yeah, right.
My boy that
Dude.
like lived with him because I had my friend I was telling you about, the guy lives here. He went everywhere, all the court stuff and everything. Got a different view on the whole thing.
Right.
I'd like to talk to that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you link us up?
I
Like,
can, yeah.
Yeah.
If
That would
if
be
he can,
great.
I don't know what he can say
He probably can't
because
say much.
we signed all these non-disclosure
yeah, but
agreements.
statute of limitations got to be.
I don't
done.
know what it is. I'm curious. I'll hook you.
If
guys
Rob
up.
O'Neill,
on-
if Rob O'Neill can lie about killing Bin Laden at this point, I'm pretty sure that guy can talk about that.
Typically NDAs don't have statute limitations. There's not usually an end date in an NDA.
Who's gonna fucking say anything at this point?
Yeah, is Saddam?
No, I'm
Like
just,
it's Saddam.
I'm not saying
Like,
that we can't
what is
have
this,
a conversation with
is
this
his-
guys. I'm
Is his
just
estate
saying that
gonna
like
come back?
if
Like,
I were to sign an NDA, it's not like, well, I can't talk for the next 6 months, but after that, we're golden.
just do we have the ability to blur someone's face out on the show?
We would just set up the cameras so he wasn't even in the shot.
Yeah.
Fucking gold.
Yeah, I'll hook you guys up to him. He's a cool dude. He's one of my like close friends.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude.
And he's got definitely like, even like we were deployed, those guys, the OPSEC was so tight on their side of it that I didn't really press to ask too many questions. And they had a doctor too that was on that mission. And there was a National Guard physician that was on that majority of that mission.
Wow.
There's a guy from
yeah.
Georgia, the Georgia National Guard.
Oh yeah.
And he volunteered to stay longer to stay on that mission. It was really
Well, it's
cool.
a historical mission.
Yeah,
man.
right.
Like
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, you're a piece of history.
If
You know,
I
like-
could
My unit
hang out
pronounced
with
him dead.
Saddam for
Yeah.
his,
My unit pronounced him dead.
Fucking A, dude.
Pretty crazy.
but if I could hang out with him for the last month of his life, like
Yeah.
I would have all the conversations with him.
Fuck yeah,
Holy
dude. I would talk to him about everything.
Yeah.
My boy played chess with him.
Fucking
who
A,
won?
dude.
Yeah, I don't know. But he said he played chess with him, and there was another. And the people that they picked to do that mission, they were scouted out so early on.
Yeah.
So like when I deployed, I had all of the admin skills from coming as a recruiter, and I knew how to use like the JPass system, and I knew how to process security clearances because that's a big part of being a recruiter. So I did all the SF-86s for the people that needed the security clearance.
Right.
Like,
And I was running
doing, like reading people in and stuff.
everything.
Yeah.
And so I did all of that stuff before during the mobilization process. And they had the people picked for that mission. We were at Mob site for I think 4 months.
Yeah.
They had that guy picked. Those guys picked the first week.
Wow.
Wow.
They knew who they wanted. They knew why they wanted them, and they were like process these clearances, and nobody knew why. And they thought like they were going to be doing a detainee mission, and that's why they needed the clearance. That's what they told me. But then
Well, it technically was.
yeah.
Yeah, it's what it is.
We
Yeah.
get into country and those guys were gone. They had a separate group pick them up, and they were gone.
Wow.
And we didn't see them for like 2 months. And then my boy's like, dude, I gotta tell you some shit.
That's always how you find out the good shit. It's always like as soon as like index,
Yeah.
it's like one of your boys is like, bro. I'm like, every time, dude. It's always
And it's
like that.
funny to see like now I get a lot of people I deployed with follow me because of the internet stuff. And there's like one guy that wrote a news article about it. And it's like, motherfucker, you weren't even in the same room. I was like telling someone else's story.
Dude, the amount of shit that goes down with that stuff. Well, I mean, for instance, someone who we're connected to right now, Tim Kennedy's going through it, and you actually stood up for Tim.
I do.
Yeah, you stand up for Tim, and
yeah.
and so do I, and I'll tell you why, man, because he prefaced it all in his fucking book. He was like, "Look, man, this is how I remember it.
Yeah.
It's not going to be 100% accurate. Other people can have different perspectives." Like he said it in his book, and it's like, all right, you know what? Right there, you're fucking square with me, dude. Like you're fucking square. The only thing, if you need a Purple Heart, Tim, I got a few to fucking spare, bro. Like that's all I'm saying.
So
like
the thing that he never claimed to have a Purple Heart.
he said he rated one. That's what
he said he got injured in combat.
he got injured in combat, but
Right.
he hasn't done it yet, and that's what bothered me though. It's like, oh, so you're gonna fudge the paperwork? Like I know how this works, man.
But
Like,
I have a different view on that.
But I know several people who should have had Purple Hearts that don't fucking have them.
oh, for sure,
Right?
for sure.
And so if they had an ability to, before they got out, say, hey, this injury was because of this, I should get a Purple Heart. I think they should be given the fucking Purple Heart. Like, I feel that, you know?
Yeah, fuck
it's
yeah.
not hard to get. So I used to write all the awards. I did all the combat, all like the
It's one page. It's got a picture of your body, and there's a little 3 check marks. Is it fucking NA, fucking friendly, or enemy? And as long as enemy's checked, there it is.
like
Yeah.
we took care of a couple.
It's
Like
super easy.
one time I don't know what the fuck these dudes were, but they got into some shit and they showed up at our clinic and they brought their own vet. I think I was telling you about this. I don't know what type of special forces these guys. They were wearing any kind of uniforms I'd seen, but they came in with a dog that had been in those Belgian Malinois that got
Yeah.
shot.
Oh, yeah.
And our X-ray people are getting ready and they're like, no, get out of here. We got this. And these dudes ran our
Yeah.
X-ray equipment and they brought their own like vet in. And then they were like, oh man, we can't call medevac in. It's too dusty. Oh, no, right. Bird landed like right in front for a fucking dog.
Yeah.
Right.
Fuck
Now
it.
that dog probably had more training than the doctor you worked on.
But those dudes were all fucked up. Those dudes were all fucked
they
up.
didn't give a fuck.
And I'm saying, so it's like sometimes there's some people that have to fight the war that are expecting their leader to handle that for them.
Right.
And so it's like it's a very real possibility that
And-
he got fucked up overseas.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it's the time frame too, because like the guys that were talking shit on him, like I don't know their story, but I think they were in.
They're all very legit.
No, I know, but
Super legit.
But I
Fucking
think, but
super
I
legit
think
dudes,
most of their combat time came in like the 2007 and after, right?
I don't know.
I have
There's a
no
couple of them
idea.
that are older.
But I know like the 2003 time frame when we were there
Well, no.
there was no paperwork done,
True.
any fucking
But
medical shit
to,
at
to
all.
be fair, like Tim's case is like 2010, 2011
Yeah,
is what he's talking about.
I
It's
don't
like, bro, that shit was wired tight by
Yeah.
then. You know
It
what I mean?
was.
Like now he did explain it. He was like, he was an attachment at that point
right.
because he's still National Guard. He's 19th group.
Yeah,
So he was attached to another unit. He was doing a non-traditional mission. You know what I mean? It made sense when he explained it. And I was like, I get it.
I can understand how
Like I get that.
you
Like,
the paperwork wouldn't get done. I can.
well, when you're one of the cool guys,
Yeah.
like Tim is, You know, like you can. It's like the justice system. You can say all you want that it's fucking blind, but there are 2 tiers of justice system, and there's definitely 2 tiers of this too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, like those guys, they follow different rules than us, right? Like than conventional forces, which is fine.
Now,
you know, because I'm glad we got them.
right.
I'm glad we need people like them.
And a lot of times, like the admin side of those like units are fucked. They are. It's just because they're war fighters.
Yeah.
And so everybody in those units are fucking killers. They're not fucking
Well,
Right.
It's because they'll be like,
Paper
you're
pushers,
You're
you
a
know?
grunt that got a slightly higher ASVAB score than me. You're our admin guy now.
Right.
It's like, what the fuck, bro? Like, I got a fucking 40. You got a 39. This is fucked. It's
like tell a Delta operator, hey, I need you to write that Bronze Star citation. They're gonna get fucked,
Yeah,
you know,
right?
because they're not gonna. That's not part of what they do.
They're going to call their general and be go, hey, Tom, fucking write it.
Yeah.
Click. It's all they do, man.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
ultimately, it comes down to the officer in charge of whatever detachment or unit that they're in.
Mhm.
On
So if anything, that
aspect
guy
of-
dropped the ball on Tim.
Yeah. You know, and did Tim exaggerate? Maybe. Right.
It's a book.
It's a book.
And who
Like,
doesn't?
I mean,
Who does?
so in theory, I could have fought for a Purple Heart. I beat the shit out of an Iraqi and broke my hand in the process, and now I have this,
Shit.
Technically,
and I have a limited range of movement.
Oh fuck.
Technically, you wounded it on an enemy.
I was wounded by an armed enemy.
Yeah. Was he armed at the time? He had arms.
Shortly before that time.
He was armed.
We're talking
we were in a process-
minutes to seconds.
Yeah, we were in the process of detaining said individual, and he didn't want to be detained. So
Oh.
we had to show him that he needed to
So-
be detained.
Big dumb grump did job. I like it.
Well, no, he tried to grab a grenade off my buddy's vest, and I was behind him, and he turned and he ran. Literally, this is how tall he was. He ran face first into my chest, and I picked him up and I turned him around. I threw him on the ground, and we dogpiled him. And he still didn't want to give up.
So
And it was like,
you had
we're yelling at
so you
the-
had to provide some incentive.
We're yelling at the interpreter, telling the interpreter, just tell him to give up as we're trying to subdue him. And my buddy may or may not have broken his ankle as I was punching him, and he ducked, and I hit the crown of his head, and I was really mad.
Yeah,
So
he's
then I
got a
broke a
boxer's
couple
fracture.
ribs, and I'm stuck with this for the rest of my life.
John's hands are rated E for everybody.
They're equal opportunity.
But I stood up for Tim Kennedy, and I had everybody coming after me for like a day because I commented on his stuff on Instagram, and I'm like, yeah, I hate how everyone tears each other down and stuff.
Well,
and
that's the problem.
big dicks each other in the veteran community.
Right.
I fucking hate that.
But
shit.
man, the amount of butthurt people coming after me. And then I tagged the podcast. I'm like, I'm a fan of that podcast. Like, I love those dudes. I love hearing their stories. And
because they're very legit.
yeah, very, very
But,
legit.
okay.
Legit. One of them's a Delta operator.
No, I
they're fucking
I
very
understand that.
legit.
But your whole your podcast name is anti-hero. Right?
Yeah.
So you purposely go after everybody to prove they're not heroes.
Yeah.
So like,
I've never listened to it.
right?
Good. It's good.
Like,
It's really good.
But I feel like that's like you don't have anything better to do.
I've also never watched any of Tim Kennedy's like
Like you know what I
responses
mean?
going
Like
back and forth with this.
I know Tim
Like
not because of Tim's military service. I know Tim because of Tim.
Yeah.
Since I met Tim.
Yeah.
Which was after I was
And-
out. I didn't even know he was in.
and that's how I know
Right.
Tim is
I know-
because I've met Tim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, but when you do a podcast called The Anti-Hero, it right there's kind of like okay, so that's what you're about,
I mean,
right? Like,
yeah, I can see that.
It's
you know?
kind of about that. I mean, I'm a fan. I listen. I don't really listen to it's just like, I don't feel qualified. I don't have that background of the tactical background. So
Yeah.
like, I'll listen to it, but I have no skin in the game because that just wasn't my military experience.
right.
Yeah.
And I think 90% of the people that are like, fuck Tim Kennedy are like me.
No, 99.
Are not from that.
Yeah.
But I have no problem if you're from that community and you want to shit all over that guy. If you're qualified to do it, go do it. That's the way I see
Now,
it.
I get that.
did they
I
bring
get
up
that.
some valid points? Absolutely. Like,
Sure.
There's some things I question 100%.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, granted, I also have not read Tim's book.
No.
I've not read his book. Like,
But I just
it's very Navy SEAL of you, Tim.
is there is there better things to do with your life than go after people? I think maybe.
I agree.
And so he does, like, I was talking to him. I saw a podcast where this old crusty dude's talking about him, and he goes, Tim Kennedy's still got a net positive. because of all of the positive things he's done for the community, positive things he's done just besides the veteran community. I mean, he's in the hurricane relief, all this kind of stuff. And
Dude, I swear to God, he teleports. That motherfucker teleports, dude. Because like he'll be in Ukraine one day, and then he's in fucking Israel the next, and he's like, it's like, what the fuck, Tim?
A guy's a good dude for whatever the bullshit is. Like, I don't care because I'm not connected to it. So like, I'll stick up for him in the sense that like, if this is the worst thing you did was write a book that might be on the edge, I'm not gonna fucking read it. Right. I don't give a fuck. It's not hurting the community. It's just not.
It's not.
It's not. It's counterproductive.
Yeah, I wish like
I've heard.
Yes, Tim probably exaggerated. Am I pissed that people went after him? Maybe. But did they bring up valid points? Yeah.
But like I said, he prefaced it all in his book.
Yeah, but now, as somebody that's kind of in the military community, I'm in this weird fucking like, okay.
Does it change your opinion on Tim?
I mean, maybe it puts a cloud there, right?
Have you talked to Tim since you got that information?
No, but I haven't talked to Tim. I don't talk to Tim very much, right? But I don't like, it just puts me in a weird spot, right?
Sure.
Like, because I think Tim's a good dude.
Right.
Did he exaggerate? Okay, maybe.
Who gives a shit? Every dude who's ever gone fishing fucking exaggerates.
Yeah. And could you take anything?
How big was that lobster we saw in Turks and Caicos?
It was that big,
right?
This fucking big.
It was that big.
This fucking big.
But the moral of the story is you guys saw a big lobster in Turks and Caicos.
Yeah.
Right? That's the fucking story.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So however you want to tell that story.
It actually was this fucking,
It was
terrifying.
giant. It was like 4 feet long.
I've done a few things too, like entertainment wise, where they've said, say it like this.
Yeah.
So how many, I mean, that's another thing. He talks about the editing process too. It's like,
very true.
How much is someone going, hey, no, it's got to be like this. It's got to be like this. Tim reviews it. Maybe I don't know the book writing process, but maybe he didn't have total control at the end of the day.
So the DOD ultimately has total control.
Oh, do they? Okay.
But
that's a good point.
But you want to write a good book, right? Like I could write a book. It'd be boring as shit.
You already fucking did.
You're right.
Look at this.
It's a pretty good book, but
great book.
But do I exaggerate?
Naked but deadly. That's
Maybe.
my shit too. Tales of the Dick Doctor. There I was, Baghdad, Iraq, large black guy.
Sniper's guy dropping targets without pants. That's Scott Jansen right there.
I could be wrong, but can y'all think of any major military, not really this, but influencer? Tim gets shit on, Jocko gets shit on, Robbo.
They all do.
Everyone, it's like everyone's always trying to poke holes in them, and it's like
look at Black Rifle.
But it's
absolute Black Rifle, great example.
Well,
Everybody's shitting on
maybe
them.
if they didn't donate to Act Blue.
So ultimately, what it is if you have a successful, like got their shit together,
nobody hates a veteran.
Yeah,
like another veteran.
The veterans are going to find.
But now, if you
wrong
listen
with
to this podcast, they fucking premise their podcast with everybody's going to say nobody shits on a veteran like another veteran, and they say that this isn't why we're doing it. We're doing it for this reason. Right?
You were physically there when I made Rich High fucking legitimately question his life.
Yeah.
You were standing right there when I was like, nobody shits on a veteran like another veteran. You made your whole career out of it. He was like, oh,
he's like, I fucking did.
I had someone call the inspector general about one of my videos.
Yeah,
like recently, I made a video about being a lying recruiter. It's all satire. All satire.
Yeah.
And I have this story that is true, but it's not true. I told this kid, I want to be a Navy SEAL. And I'm like, you're going to have to enlist under the National Guard's Navy SEAL option. Requires you to join as a truck driver first. And when you come back as a truck driver, complete your enlistment term, I'll drive you down to the Navy recruiting office and we'll get you set up for the SEAL contract.
Yeah.
How's that sound? And the kid joined, but he knew he wasn't going to be it was a joke, right?
Yeah.
But I put it in a content piece, and I said that line got me the top recruiter and all this shit. And the amount of fuck you.
I'm telling you, dude.
And it was nobody of any substance. It was all like, if you go look at the profiles, somebody got out like an E3 or some shit.
Like if you think you have a chance of becoming a Navy SEAL and the National Guard recruiter derails you, you're not going to be a Navy SEAL. You're gullible.
You clearly have no idea what you're doing.
You are going to be able to meet Scott Jansen someday and claim to be a Navy SEAL, though. That's true. Yeah, Scott's met every Navy SEAL since Vietnam. Apparently, and there's 500 million of them.
Since I've gotten out of the military and I've talked to other veterans a lot, right? I've met one cook and about 4,000 Navy SEALs.
Yeah, it's about how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like when as a recruiter, every prior service guy's got a story. I would have been a sergeant, but I punched out the captain. It's like, stop.
Yep.
Didn't.
Welcome
Do
to
that.
welcome to what it feels like to be a Marine. You know how many fucking I was gonna join the Marines, but fucking stories I've heard. It's like, dude, you didn't. It's fine. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
Nobody cares.
It's fine. Yeah, nobody gives a
cares.
shit, dude. Like, I joined the Marines to talk shit for the rest of my life. Just like the fucking infantry joins the infantry to talk shit for the rest of their life.
That's it.
It's the same mentality, dude.
It's a
the same
completely
shit.
different branch, though. I know when I worked at the MEPS, talking to the MEPS liaisons, and then talking to like and it was just that Marines is not an easy thing to recruit for, and
No.
it's not easy to be recruited as a Marine. They have the highest. It's like the highest ASVAB score requirement.
Say it ain't true.
Oh yeah,
It is.
I know
that's why the crayon jokes are hilarious. to me.
GED holders have a harder time getting into the Marine Corps.
Weren't
Usually-
allowed in the
Yeah,
90s.
and I don't think it's like it's a certain percentage. Now
Mm-hmm.
there's none of that Cat 4 bullshit. You don't get your job guaranteed to you, and there's still a fucking
You can get
line.
you can get your OC field. So like, let's say you want to be an ordnance guy, 2100, maybe a fucking armorer.
Yeah.
Well, you might be an armorer, or you might be a fucking mechanic on Amtrak's.
Yeah.
Or you
All-
might be an LAV mechanic, or you might be a tank mechanic, or you might be like, there's a lot of
Right.
ordnance jobs out there, right? Like,
The best
Maybe.
National Guard recruiters were former Marine Corps recruiters. So, like, I was a supervisor. I would hire those guys in a fucking second. I had a Marine Corps recruiter that worked for me. Dude, was a G.
they're so,
Yeah,
they're
we
such
could-
good liars.
Oh yeah, there was
Oh.
nothing better. And they had a way, because like there's a way to exemplify yourself.
Bro, I was valedictorian in my high school, and they talked me into enlisting as a grunt. They're good.
Yeah, they get good applicant. You see
They're
like a National Guard
good,
applicant
dude.
and a Marine Corps applicant together, and it's like the hills have eyes, a college athlete. You know, it's like some toothless motherfucker. You know, like
Yeah, they are the best at lying, dude. If you ever needed a fucking salesman, find a Marine Corps recruiter.
Yeah.
That motherfucker, he will sell ketchup to a bitch in white gloves.
And it's not just that they lie. If you're like if you're a fat piece of shit, they don't beat around the bush. They're like, you're a fat piece of shit.
No, but here's
You know,
here's what recruiters will do. Marine Corps recruiters will be like, "You're a fat piece of shit, but I want to make you not a fat piece of shit because I still want you."
come see me Monday,
I want
Wednesday,
you-
Friday, 06.
Yeah.
Yeah.
scanning
like-
those
like-
kids up. I used to work next in one of those recruiting like offices in a shop mall.
Yeah.
Shop mall, and we're right next to the Marines.
Did you ever do PT in the parking lot?
Oh, they were skinning those kids the fuck up, man. These guys will look at me like, "You got no honor vest." I'm like, "I don't."
You're like, "Already got my fucking rank, homie. Have fun."
That's how bad it was. The Marine Corps dude would bring over all their dummies. He'd be like, "Whiskey, that's the guy ain't gonna fucking make it in the Corps." I'm like, God, I would live off of those dudes.
Dude. Oh, bro, that's a great idea, man. Like, that's a great fucking idea.
I always like getting drunk with the Marine Corps guys. When I did drink, I would always go get hammered with them. They're just degenerates.
What do you think these fuckers hang out with me, dude? It's just like Mikey's the comic relief that drinks too much. That's all it is. Like, fuck.
I would always bring all of the other branches together. I'm like, this job fucking sucks. We got to work together. Nobody wants to fucking be here.
If we all work together, we're all going to do better.
Dude,
Yes.
and
And you all did, right?
we're
Yeah.
unstoppable when we work together.
Seriously.
Like, that's why JTAX. That's like the whole joint task force idea came because, like, it'd be great if we stopped arguing and just fucking fucked everybody else up. And
Yeah.
they were like, fuck yeah, same
That's a
team.
good idea.
Bah, bah. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I had a great relationship with all the other recruiters. You'd think I would have had a bad one, but no, because everybody knew what I was about. You don't got to be that qualified to get in the National Guard.
Right.
My applicants ain't your applicants. And so, I mean, there's good kids that join the Guard. There's bright,
Yeah,
smart,
we got one right here.
Just so they're not.
and a lot of Olympic
Mhm.
athletes. Like when I recruited in New York, we processed a couple of the Olympic bobsledders. We put those people in.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So there's a lot of like, there's good
What
people.
were their jobs?
Oh, it was like easy shit because
Okay.
you got to get them in and out of training so they can get back to the Olympic shit.
Okay.
Because what happens is, so if you join as under the World Class Athlete Program for the National Guard, there's someone at National Guard Bureau that handles all that.
Really?
Like the
I've
recruiter
never even
just
heard of this.
No.
the recruiter does the paperwork. That's it. It's a very niche thing. There's not many.
It sounds
Clearly.
like,
And
it
so-
sounds like the Marine Corps band, like the president's own.
Mhm.
They never went to boot camp.
Okay.
They're all Marines, but them motherfuckers, and they're all like E6s or better.
Yeah.
And it's like those motherfuckers never. No, they are hired.
And but
You know
they
what I mean? So
enlist.
it sounds like something like that.
They enlist in a boot camp, basic MOS. When you're putting those kids in, they're doing it for for the honor, but they're also getting paid active duty money. So they put them on what they call ADOS orders, which is active duty ADSW. I don't know what
Yep.
they call it anymore, but
It's still ADOS.
they put them on those types of orders. And so they're paid full time. I think they eventually get promoted to E5 pretty quick.
Yeah.
And then the National Guard will use them in their marketing. So like for a while, one of these bobsledders was fucking wild. He was like a party animal and he was funny as fuck. I would take that guy everywhere to the schools. He'd be like, let's go fuck bitches. I'm like, we can't, they're in high school, bro.
he's like,
I went down the
What state-
bobsled track. They
what
took me
state
down
are
that
we-
motherfucker.
shit.
Oh yeah, dude.
how was that?
Oh, I about shit my pants. I ended up doing this event with
This fast.
USA bobsledding team. And there's I don't know if you guys follow NASCAR at all, but there's this driver named Ron Hornaday.
Okay.
And it was NASCAR drivers and soldiers competing against real bobsledders. And so this Ron Hornaday guy was steering the motherfucker and I'm in the back. And he was like, Ben, squat down. He's yelling at me. This guy was competitive as fuck. He's a
Wow.
fucking race car driver.
Sure.
And we flew down that. I thought we were going to fucking die. Like, 'cause you're literally, your head is in your knees when
Yeah.
you're there. When you're in the back,
You're not watching.
You're
You're just
yeah,
holding
You're
on.
the
Yeah.
anchor, right? Like, I mean,
yeah,
You just wait.
and you pull the brake.
yeah, it's because you're the brake guy.
Yeah.
And then the
What
second,
do the two dudes in the middle fucking do?
Wait.
well, it depends. I only did the 2-man with this guy, but this dude wanted to win so bad that he bungee corded the brake because sometimes the brake will drag a little bit. What the fuck are you doing? He's like, I'm putting a bungee cord on this shit. We're winning. And I had to wrench on that bitch to stop. Like,
Wow. Fuck it. Well, I mean, if you're gonna have a dude
Did
at the
you guys
wheel,
no. No,
really?
Some other guy, some race car driver named Boris said won.
Okay.
Well, still a race car driver though. Like,
Yeah.
Like, because if you're gonna have a dude at the wheel at something like that, I want somebody with those reflexes.
Yeah.
Right. Like NASCAR. Well, NASCAR just turns left. I'd rather have an F1 dude.
Yeah.
Like, give me an F1
It
racer.
was no bullshit. Like, so on a
Like-
bobsled track, they have the training like launch,
Yeah.
and then they have the Olympic launch. We did the fucking Olympic launch. Like my car, I had a Jeep at the top of it, and it was in the Adirondacks in New York at the Olympic training facility in Lake Placid. And it was so cold that my Jeep windshield cracked. Fucking cold, because that's one of my duties locations. I worked in the Adirondack Mountains at the furthest point north in New York.
Okay.
So I was like 5 hours from a MEPS, and
He
I
was telling me he was stealing recruits from fucking Mass, fucking New Hampshire,
That's funny.
Vermont.
He would like send dudes to the fucking other MEPS.
Where in the Adirondacks were you?
I was in Saranac Lake, New York.
Okay. Yeah.
He's
then
an East Coast guy.
okay,
Yeah,
then
yeah.
Plattsburgh, and then
So I got family. They live up in Old Forge.
okay, yep,
So I've
yep,
been
yep.
up there my whole
I have
life.
family.
Oh hell yeah,
I have family
beautiful.
there too.
Yeah.
And then I went down the mountain and I recruited in Glens Falls, Lake George
Yep.
area, and then I transferred to Michigan
Okay.
after that. But I was there for like 5 or 6 years. That was great.
Nice.
It was like
It's beautiful.
my favorite experience of like being in a guard recruiter was in New York.
So you went Michigan, New York, back to Michigan.
So what happened was I got fired from recruiting a recruiter. I did some dirty enlistment shit, and I got
Attaboy.
kicked out of the AGR program.
Yeah,
But there's two kinds of kicked out. You can volunteer to leave, and then you can come back once you get your shit together. And that's what I did. And so I volunteered to leave, got my shit together, and then I resurfaced in New York after I came back from deployment. So that was another reason I had volunteered, is I was pretty much on the verge of going to lose my job in the AGR program. So I said, I'm going to go deploy. I'd never done this before. I'm going to go fix myself. And I unfucked myself. And you know how like they have theater retention people over there re-enlisting people?
Yeah.
And for the guard, those
Tax-free,
are
baby.
National Guard recruiting instructors
Yeah.
that were Title 10, which is a different title of active duty. And I met that guy and I was helping him do re-enlistment shit on my spare time. And he hooked me up with the command sergeant major in New York. So when
Okay.
I came home from the Michigan Guard, I ended up transferring right to New York, getting back on the AGR program.
Yeah.
And I never fucked up again. Got my rank back.
Nice.
Like I got promoted to E7 in the New York Guard
Yeah.
and then transferred back to Michigan. The same people that fired me hired me back. Hired me back as a supervisor.
fucking A, dude.
That's how good I was as
That's
a recruiter.
working the
That's
fucking
funny. system
system right there, man. That's impressive.
Yeah, I've only recruiter I bet in history, and I'm pretty positive that got his master recruiting badge removed for impropriety, had to start back at the basic and earn it back again.
Fuck yeah, dude.
I took some licks, dude. Like I took some hard licks.
Proud of you.
So how many years did you do total?
21 years.
Okay.
Active duty, the active duty side of the guard.
Yep.
Yeah.
No.
Nice.
So you earned your fucking blue
Yeah,
ID
yeah.
card
Yeah. Oh yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Dude. Yeah.
All right, before we wrap this up,
Yeah.
so once you got out of the guard, what do you do now? Like what's
I produce content with my wife. I do stand-up comedy from time to time, and I'm on the Loveline radio show. I don't know if you remember the iconic
Yeah.
show with Dr. Drew.
Yep.
I did my first episode, aired on December 15th or this weekend.
Yep.
And then I have a segment that I wrote that airs on the 29th, a foot fetish segment where I review celebrity feet.
nice?
With I do
Fucking A. So far, who's the best feet?
the best feet.
No one. It's fucking disgusting. Their feet.
No, I said, dude, what is wrong
We
with you?
don't kink shame here.
What?
Dude.
Wait,
I don't kink shame, but holy fuck,
You're
man.
Hey, if you're into it, cool.
Maybe it's because
Something
mine
I
are
don't
train
like.
wrecks. And I get pedicures. He calls me gay all the time because I get pedicures.
You better, I tell you what, if you're a chick, I ain't paying for your pedicure and them tips ain't French, bitch. All right.
Fucking
I'm saying, like,
all right, that's fucking
I
real.
ain't sucking on those. But yeah, I produce content now. I do stand-up comedy. And I just I had to leave the DOD because it was getting a little too hot under the collar. I did like a semi-naked photo shoot with a naked cowboy. And I called in sick.
Like the naked cowboy?
The naked cowboy. It's on my Instagram.
Like New York's.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like
Fuck yeah, dude.
I hung out with him a whole day, played songs with him.
Is he a good dude?
Great. He's fucking crazy. Like he's
Clearly.
he's crazy, but I called
Bro,
him
he's
sick.
been crazy since the 80s.
I just started doing stand-up comedy and my internet stuff was just starting, the needle was starting to move a little bit. And I got a call to do a show at a comedy club, Comic Strip Live in New York City. And I drove through the night. I called in sick. And the next thing you know, I'm posting pictures of the naked cowboy. And yeah, they were fucking pissed. I was a civilian. And finally, it was just like, this is not gonna work. And it honestly, the capacity that I was working in, I had a lot of people looking at me differently, and it wasn't fair to the organization.
Yeah.
So I left on my own accord.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't fired. I could have stayed,
Yeah.
but it was like,
It's like it'll be easier.
It's-
if I
yeah.
don't.
it was hard for me because as a civilian, in my civilian capacity, I was technically in charge of the military. So in the National Guard so I talk about being a lying recruiter, and I do want to say this. The National Guard has measures in place in all the 54 states and territories. They have civilians that work for National Guard Bureau that'll save the military from themselves. They have one here. In fact, one of my friends, I think, just got the job in Dallas. And so every MEPS that civilian is at the MEPS for the guard office is technically, that's the person that can put the stop to the show, guys.
It's like a GS-13. It's like,
no,
look,
it's
dude,
like a GS9.
really?
That's it. Yeah. But I had a hard time. And like
That's like a corporal, man.
yeah, it ain't shit. And 9 times out of 10, nobody's doing anything intentionally to fuck the system. They're just trying to get their number.
Yeah.
For sure.
Right. They're not, and they don't not know what they're doing is regulatorily wrong. So the National Guard hires civilians that worked at the MEPS, that worked there, that have the skill identifier, they have the background, they've proven to say yes, no, maybe
Yeah.
so, or even phone a friend.
So technically, you would qualify for that job.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I did. I did it 3 different MEPS. I did Chicago MEPS, a real busy MEPS. So we're processing 30 motherfuckers a day. That's a lot. And then I went to Lansing MEPS in Michigan where the butthole contest is held. And we processed like 6 applicants a month. Then I transferred to Detroit. And if I would have stayed on, I'd probably be a director right now. I was really good at that job, but it was just the conflict. I couldn't tell a soldier what to do when I'm taking naked pictures of the naked cowboy. And then how can I really hold someone accountable when they've got, well, we just saw it I didn't feel right doing it. I just walked away from it.
Yeah.
So more of an integrity thing.
It was more of an integrity thing. And it was more of like, I didn't want to bring down the organization by what I was doing entertainment wise.
Right.
Sure.
Because I knew I was going to do something. Like I knew early on that something was going to take off for me, whether it was the internet or stand-up comedy. I'd been cast in a couple television projects that didn't work out. And so I knew something was going to happen. And I just didn't want the National Guard or the Michigan National Guard specifically to suffer that. Because I had kids sometimes that would see me at shows. I saw your show this weekend. And then they were joining and I was talking about some vile shit. And so I couldn't do my thing and do it justice
Yeah.
doing that job. So I volunteered to leave.
Look at you with your integrity.
A lot of integrity, believe it or not.
Well, Mr. Vest, we appreciate you coming by, bro.
Where
appreciate
can
you.
everybody find you?
You can find me
Yeah, dude.
on TikTok at Poopy Turds McGee 1.5 until I get kicked off. You can find me on Instagram at Poopy Turds McGee until I get kicked off, but you can really follow me on X at Poopy Turds McGee, where I will never get kicked off.
Dude, promote it right there in that camera, dude. Promote everything you need right
Poopy
now.
Turds McGee 1.5 on TikTok, Poopy Turds McGee on Instagram, and Poopy Turds McGee on X. Uncensored content.
Fucking A.
Do you have
Dude,
any events or anything like that coming up?
Prettiest Butthole in Michigan competition is May 17th. And then I think that's all I got right now.
Okay.
fucking A.
Oh yeah.
Dude, thanks for coming out.
Thank you guys for having me.
Where do you do your stand-up?
In Austin, Texas. If you just follow my link tree and my bio, I've got my dates and stuff. I've got a show with Justin. I just don't know when and where it is coming up.
Justin Governell, good
Yeah.
friend of the show. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a show with, shorties with curly hair.
Yeah. Maybe call your other comic friends, Justin, you fucking cunt.
Yeah, I'd love to go up there with you.
I don't know. Something, dude. Fuck me, right?
He's on stage talking about being a gay Marine. I'm talking about giving men STD tests. He's like, you're in.
Doesn't want to have another game, right? What the fuck, dude? But dude, thank you very, very much.
Thank you guys
man.
for having
we
me.
appreciate the fuck out of you, dude. And thanks for making the trip down.
Fuck yeah.
This has been a fucking blast of an episode, man. We
Thank you,
appreciate
guys.
the shit
Yeah.
out of you. Dude, Jazz missed the fuck out, man.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Jazz is sick today.
Jazz is my psyop guy I told you
Okay.
about. Yeah.
Badass.
I was telling him, like, the first thing I said when I was like, it's three grunts and a psyop guy. He's like, how fucking smart is the psyop guy? I was like, it's fucking scary. I was like, it's fucking scary how smart he is. But boys, I'm going to raise my glass. I'm going to say thank you for being my freedom friend. Ching ching. And you unfortunately didn't drink because you're a fucking responsible adult, unlike us degens.
Yeah, I had one drink.
It's pretty easy, guys. Hey, if you like this show, if you like this content, do me a favor, support our Patreon. It's the first link you're going to see in the description. I'd appreciate that. And really, guys, it's three little things. It's not hard to do. It fucking genuinely makes everything better. John,
Smoke on.
Scotty,
Drink on.
God damn it, kids. Freedom the fuck on. Later.